Thalion.
Here.
Folk.
Here.
Zirak.
Present.
Elise.
Present.
Valeria.
Here.
Rudy.
Here.
Leomorn.
Here.
Alright. Who would like to do the recap of what happened last time?
Last time,
Buddy.
on a brave new world, the adventurers, after some arguments and persisting, re-entered the chamber that once held tons of demons that they eventually slaughtered before having to escape. Upon re-entering this chamber again after long debates and talks, once again the chamber was filled with demons, different ones, but there were no guards. Scanning around, the group decided to try and be cautious. As they entered, a wind, elemental, or some sort of spirit, something they could not see, struck fast and hard, knocking the wind out of a few of the adventurers. It was giving the Fates United a run for their money. After getting some arrows stuck within it, they're able to spot it and start finally dealing some damage. Few fell and were eventually brought back up. Worn out and tired after lots of arguments and debates, the group tries to decide now which way to go and where to proceed forward. And yes, I just realized I skipped the Hellhound part. But I already passed that, so I'll just leave it at that. What happens next on a brave new world?
Good job. I could hardly hear any of that because my niece was down here talking my ear off. So I assume it's good. So go ahead and give yourself a point of inspiration, and I'm going to drop you guys back into the demon hold. So the sort of incandescent glitter that marked the end of whatever that invisible creature was, sort of sprinkled out, falling to the floor like sad confetti, before eventually just disappearing into the air. And you guys are left now standing in the shrieks and roars of these strange demon creatures. What would you guys like to do?
My zombie will run up to Thalion because he's still trying to protect help.
Oh no, I'm surrounded.
Call off your zombie, please. You might need the protection more.
I would like to see if that air elemental might have left anything behind, or did I essentially turn him into a snow cone?
You don't see anything. There's nothing left of that elemental that would mark that it was ever there.
I figured as much. Yeah, elementals, they're quite wily, as you can tell.
Hey, Mark, I wanna tap on the glass, like you tap on the glass of a spider cage or something, or a spider.
Like on an aquarium?
Yeah.
Which one? The one here with the flying ones? So you tap the glass, and there's a resounding. It sounds like tapping on a plastic tube, but you can feel the sort of static buildup at your touch that sort of repulses you backwards. This is a much stronger incantation that was placed upon this runic circle in lieu of what happened last time. But as you're tapping on it, you watch as these 4 demons begin like dive bombing, and each one exhaling this sort of noxious green gas from their mouth in your general direction as they keep doing flybys and going up and wheeling around until eventually everything within is covered in this green smoke that's opaque. You sort of lean in closer to see if you can see them again before one just slams up against it, causing you to take a quick step back as it sort of drifts back into the smoke.
I don't think it would be wise to free these creatures.
And as you say that, this large lava snake is just, and you're just hearing these thump, thump, like these loud thumps as the 2 alligator demons are trying to crawl and claw at the force field in between them and Falk to try to get at his flesh. These seem to be a different, maybe more powerful set of demons that they've brought in. Maybe because you guys killed the last ones they summoned, and they might need some more powerful ones to draw from to make up time.
I can only thank the fates that they were not released in the battle that we had herein, as I will make my way down to the southern door. Now, there is another portal over to the right of us, but we determined we don't have the key for that one, correct?
Correct.
All right, so I will make my way to the southern door.
I will join Zurek at the southern door.
Child, let us out! Valyria, you hear as you sort of turn around and you see these strange, horned old women whose skin seem to be rotting off of their bodies calling to you.
Did we short rest here, or did we not short rest here? Because I did not.
The fight literally just ended.
That's what I thought. Okay.
You guys killed the Hellhounds, and you're like, okay, we need a breather. That was tough. And then you guys were like, "Sweet,
that's
empty
what we had
room."
an argument about, was trying to find some place we could all maybe long rest or something at.
Yeah, and then you guys went, sweet,
Yeah.
empty room, and you guys started running across it, and then you were assailed by an invisible creature.
As I'm walking by, can I actually examine what kind of script or runes are being used to hold these things?
Yeah. You look down. What languages do you speak?
I had it off the top of my head. Common, Elvish, Dwarvish, and Gnomish and Primordial.
Okay, though you do not speak the language fluently, you know that these runes are draconic in nature, as draconic seems to be the base language for all magic that you've kind of figured out. Even bits and pieces of your own spells pull upon draconic, almost like Latin, in a sense. Though the intricacy of what's woven into the words kind of eludes you, you find bits and pieces of similar draconic runic letterings that you have used before in your potion making and in your spellcasting.
Must be a very powerful caster to do these things.
Elise, you're just walking kind of up and down and looking at all this debris, and you see that at one time this stuff might have been really nice, carved long tables. You sort of look around this hall and sort of in your imagination, almost as if a mirage, like a picture begins to form of what was once probably a grand feasting hall where people would gather and celebrate as you look at these long tables and these long benches. But sort of bend down to touch it, and as soon as you grab it, it sort of flakes almost into dust with just the age and rot that is set in.
Most disappointing.
Rudy, you go down and you see that there are 2 large double doors there. You kind of grab onto the handle and begin to pull it towards you, and it is locked.
Is there a keyhole we can see?
You look, and there is not a keyhole.
So it's locked when I pull it. I'm going to try pushing it.
You push it, and you can push it about a couple inches before it stops again. Like it reaches a certain point where it just won't move any further.
Can I see through a tiny gap? Or is it not that far yet?
As you push forward, there's a small gap left into this door, and sort of with the help of Valeria's light raining in, you sort of lower down and squeeze your eye. It is black beyond this. No light. But what you can see directly in the middle of this door as you start to look at it, what seems to be a 5-inch tall slab that runs horizontally in the middle.
Well, it looks like we're
I
stuck
may
in
be
this
able
room
to
now.
I may be able to move the slab. Let me consult with myself. Nope, my magic doesn't work that way. Unless I actually could if I try to slide my hand into the opening, can I tell how heavy the slab is? If it's less than 5 pounds, I could probably catapult it.
I'm seeing at least 5 pounds of wood from where I'm sitting.
Give me a dexterity check to see if you can squeeze your hand into there.
Do you have mage hand?
I do not.
Mage hand can lift up to 10 pounds.
You manage to squeeze your fingers in there, but where your knuckles are, right before your palm, you just can't squeeze it in through enough, and you kind of push up on your hand, and your fingers begin to hurt a little bit as you lift up, and it does move, but it seems pretty heavy. You're thinking that this is probably a good 10-pound chunk of wood that's been kind of Katie-barred on the back of this door.
Okay, I begin to look around at the scraps of material flung around the room and seeing if I can find anything that might work as leverage, a lever of some kind that we might be able to fashion that would maybe lift this out if we could slide it in between this crack. So I'll just begin searching through the rubble.
Give me a quick perception.
Perhaps it would be a good thing if we left it locked.
You turn around and you're like, Valian might have the tool for this job.
Oh, Valian, you might have the leverage necessary to lift this board.
As you say that, I throw my halberd and say, prop it open as much as you can.
Again, it might be a good thing to leave this door locked.
This is our way through.
Well, didn't somebody say there was another portal?
Yeah, but I don't think we have the key to that portal. It's up there.
Have we tried?
I don't know. Has anybody tried the last time we were in here? 'Cause last time I checked, we ported out. Before we found out if we had the key to to that portal.
Or we could try now. We have a key here.
That might be a wise choice. But, I mean, I don't know.
When I was standing over there with the key and it didn't activate during the fight.
Yeah, the last time Thalion walked over, like straight over towards it as Droman was getting close to the middle. And he sort of reached for it and tried to push the glyph key into this, but was rebuked, much like Zirak was at the gate to the north of you guys. Which means that that's either a room in the vault that you guys don't have access to with that glyph key, or it could be a different vault altogether. Droman's like, I can lift it.
Oh, by all means then.
So I go over there and it looks like I'm lifting with one finger because my mage hand's invisible.
You hear sort of scraping against the door from the other side as you slowly and carefully lift it up. What do you do?
I'll see if I can lower it down as quietly as possible. I don't want any bang.
And avoiding the noise that simply knocking it off of the stand would have been, Droman gently sets it down with a light thump onto the ground. And as you push open the doors, you reveal a hallway that is almost cruciform at its what do you call it? At its intersection. It's a four-way intersection. Continues straight to another set of doors, directly in the middle, probably about 20 feet away from you. It branches off to the left and the right. I need to group all you guys up together really quick. Stop moving.
Just trying to help.
Oops. Don't want to bring the gator demons with me.
We befriended them.
Yeah, I mean, if we let them out, I'm sure they'll be grateful and they'll be on our side. Those old ladies seem very nice.
Shut up, Falk.
Nice.
I think Falk is in, and we should not listen to him.
Don't forget Moonlight, Mark.
Oh, I can just have
Oh, I'll grab him.
I can just have Ken drag another one. That's fine. Some of you guys might be doubled up on here, so I'm just going to put some of you where you were.
I'm just moving myself to the back because I am still hurt and I don't have a ward.
So the way this hallway is set up is there's going to be all you guys are going to be in a line up top, and you guys just move in how you want to move in.
Okay. Well, I am being a little more cautious. I can't be the tanky wizard that I normally am because I'm out of resources to do that with.
Okay. Drummond, you're staring down a hallway.
I'm gonna move up
40 feet
stealthily.
down from you. About 40 feet down from you is another set of large double doors. It's everything. It looks pretty well traveled, this hallway. Lots of back and forth in this area.
I'm gonna move up stealthily.
Go ahead and give me a stealth check. Nobody even sees you leave.
But I'm just gonna peek out into this hallway here.
So you peek around, you see a large double doorway here, and as you peek around over here, you see a large set of iron-banded wood-carved walls inlaid with what seems to be brass images.
I'll kind of wave everybody forward like it's clear. Seems to be a four-way crossroads, doors on each end, about 20 feet from this center point.
Is there anything on the walls that tell us which way, what's at the end of these hallways?
Alan, you should have been drug over.
He did.
I found them. That's what I said. Never mind.
There's no like markers like this way to the cafeteria or anything like that. As you make your way down, Rudy, go ahead, give me a perception check. So as you make your way down with the aid of Valeria's light, you see that coming down this hallway, there are scuff marks, drag marks, small impurities in the ground, dirt, dust, scratches that would mark this as a place of high traffic. From the hallway going this way seems to be a well-traveled, well-trafficked area as well. Lots of footsteps. From the hallway this way, there isn't a speck of dust. There isn't a scuff mark. There isn't a scrape. The marble is pure and whole, and the marble of the wall going up to the full height of this 20-foot tall door is impeccable.
I will point this out to Dromond and the rest, and I'll say, it seems that this path over here seems to be mostly unused, and since it's more pristine, it might lead to a place of more importance than these others.
Could also lead to a place where we're more likely to be disturbed. Less likely. Sorry, wrong wording.
Yes.
And that is a good point, Serac. Someone should... Well, here, how about everyone enter the hallway and I'll reset the wood. That way the iron system...
I'll reset it once I get in. I plan on coming in last, so...
Fellow, I don't mean to be mean or anything, but I believe your assistant may have lost an eye.
Oh well. He's already dead, so...
Still, you think your assistant would need some depth perception?
Okay, as Valeria steps finally into the intersection and her light begins to radiate from all around, Thalion and Rudy, as you look over towards this door now, you can kind of see it in kind of all of its wonder. It's a set of breathtaking double doors, and it seems to be inlaid with a delicate brass filigree, marking out the shapes of angelic figures blowing on what seem to be great trumpets. There are 9 angels in total that you can see, each of a different size, the largest of which takes up the entirety of the door. A total of 10 wings flare from the body of this angel. There are 4 angels on either side of the door, each holding a trumpet to their faceless mouths, their bodies androgynous in nature. Flowing script seems to glow with the aid of your light, flowing down a carved ribbon, going all the way down to the floor.
Can anybody read the script on this door?
Is this, would I know if this is like some famous imagery on the store, Mark?
Give me a religion check. Valeria, what languages do you speak? You walk up and you look at the flowing, flowery runic script, and you know that this is celestial. I'm going to send you something on Messenger, Carla. This is what it says. Rudy, you're pretty learned in the study of religious stories, more so for the aspects of the great battles that have taken place through time and the things that you've read about on the celestial plane and the fabled astral sea that the elves speak of a great beyond this world, out among the stars. But you've never seen a depiction of angels quite like this. The faceless sort of nature to them, the androgynous bodies, especially the multiple wings. You've seen in different churches throughout in paintings the depictions of the archangels that have come and fought on behalf of their gods in times during the Black Tide incursions when the demons would invade the world. Never anything drawn like this. It's quite strange.
Prophecy, you say? Can you read it out loud to us?
Right. In the 9 gardens, his 9 paragons serve. Their clarion calls sound war, a reckoning that their song calls. The sky falls. While the sinister drum, the world shall be undone, destroyed in a shining flame.
The image, the closer you stand, the longer you stand, is calming. Though there is an unshakable and unflappable sense of foreboding that is turning your stomach to ice, that just creeps in the back of your mind. The two sensations at complete odds with one another.
Shall we see what's on the other side?
Valeria, do you feel comfortable to open this door?
We don't have much of a choice. And she goes to open it, but she's like really scared.
Okay. You open the door. You pull it out towards you, and it's heavy, but it's not locked. But they swing as if the hinges are perfectly oiled, well maintained. But you need to exert a lot of force. Stallion reaches over, grabs the other one, and you guys pull the doors open, and beyond it, even with your light, is a void of pure blackness as a ball of flame begins to grow and grow and grow as smoke begins to push out, and there's almost this deafening sound like echoing down this hallway. I need everybody within 20 feet of this open doorway to give me a charisma saving throw.
Which doorway?
Inspiration.
The one that Valerian are near.
I might use my inspiration too.
Good thing I'm around the corner.
Oh shit.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, Stallion drowns in wine.
Dang.
I like how the lion was more charismatic than Thalion. Actually, Stallion, since you are kind of missing your soul, that's really fitting.
I was
Possibly.
just about to say, actually, it's quite
Possibly.
fitting. It's quite fitting that the lion's more
Wait,
charismatic.
Stallion's missing his soul?
I didn't
You don't
say
know
that out loud. That
Mark,
was Ken talking.
I don't know if it helps or if it's too late, but I was going to use my counter charm ability for when Valeria opens the door because she said she was scared.
Link counter charm.
I wanted to post this before you said what
Okay.
happens.
So this isn't being, you're not being frightened. You are not charmed. In essence, what is happening right now is that those of you that have failed are now paralyzed.
Okay, I just, like I said, I wanted to get that out there before you said whatever was happening regardless.
Yep.
So this does nothing.
So in essence, you sort of, you're sort of kind of like fishing into your pack for a bit. What musical instrument do you have?
Oh, I left my instrument in the cart.
Oh, dang it. It just would have been fun. So we'll say that you kind of hold up your sword and you sort of begin the electrical arc through it to kind of shed a little bit more light as you begin to open the door. And you start to say encouraging words to try to help. But as the flames burst, kind of like the fucking Eye of Sauron, your sword just drops from your hand and clatters to the ground. You guys watch as Thalion sort of drops his halberd as he's staring into this flame. Those of you that failed, which seems to be just Thalion and Rudy, you guys take.
Did we see the dark lights?
You guys take 6 points of necrotic damage, and you are paralyzed as you're just sort of sitting there drooling as blood now begins to pour out of your eyes as if you're crying it. We're going to roll initiative. Jesus, Falk.
I'm a little nervous that all these crits are coming out right now. What's going to happen later? Thanks, Valeria, for keeping it balanced. Valeria and Leomorn kept it nice and balanced.
It couldn't happen when we're like attacking or something.
Exactly.
I would like to go through before Thalion since he's paralyzed.
Well,
Rudy, you're standing there and you're shaking as the images of what seem to be pieces of sky falling in rain crashing onto the ground as a large white light begins arcing through the sky, cutting through clouds, ready to impact into the earth as you sort of shake your head and you kind of stumble and you hold the wall out as you begin to shake and you're coming out of this paralyzation, but it is the end of your turn. Zirak.
So I'm basically just seeing this green flame in front of the door?
Yes. So think of a 20-foot tall arched doorway. Beyond it is just the most abyssal blackness that you can imagine. And sort of glowing out of this, like, think of the Eye of Sauron, kind of growing in here, this large undulating flame of green. And this noise, it's a deafening noise. It's just this, like, imagine like 20 cruise ships sitting right next to each other, just fucking raring on their horns. And it's echoing through this stone hallway. And you see these tendrils of green fog smoke kind of creeping their way on the floor.
I am going to target I guess the center of the doorway. I guess it says creature or object, so yeah, I guess if I don't see a creature or object, I can't target it. I guess the floor is an object right here. Can I just target the floor?
Yeah, you sort of in a panic hold your hand out and you shoot forth a firebolt and it just explodes on the ground before eventually getting sucked into the flame that's just consistently blowing this note.
And then I will take a 10-foot step back and end my turn.
Okay. And yeah, Rudy, you're no longer paralyzed, but that was the end of your turn. Falk.
Falk will move there. See, so what do I see? I see utter black. I don't see this green ball.
Yeah, it's not exactly a green ball. It's just the only thing I had that looks like undulating flames of a sinister nature.
Okay, yeah, no problem. I will order my zombie to, on his turn, to go pull Valeria out of there. Bring her back. And I will go here and grab Elise and pull her out.
Okay. So that was... You were here? 5,
Correct.
10. Elise, do you struggle against Falk's grip? Or do you let him grab you?
She'll let him grab her, but she's like, what the hell?
I'm like, do it, putting my arms underneath your arms and just kind of dragging you back away from the doorway.
How far do you move, Falk?
Yeah, at least we'll let you, but she's just confused. That's why she's like, "What the hell?"
So she will be there.
20, 30. Okay, so you move a total of 30 feet.
She has no strength to fight back, anyways.
You sort of move your hand up as you're being pulled out, and you sort of rub your eye, and you bring it out, and you look at your palm, and you see this small flecks of blood that were beginning to come out of your eyes, Elise, as you're sort of staring at this much longer than you're supposed to. Good turn, Falk. Thalion, you are staring at this undulating fire as images of war sort of reverberate in your mind. This sense of impossible dread is building up in your heart. You feel your body just wanting to give up as you look at the scene of people staring at these floating lights in the sky turning into statues of salt before being blown away by the wings of monsters. And you take a shuddering breath, like you just finished like a long, mournful cry, and suck in, and you snap out of it. You are no longer paralyzed yourself, but that is the end of your turn. Falk Zombie.
So he's going to grab Valeria and start pulling her out.
Okay, that is...
shit. It takes 20 feet of movement to get there.
5, 10, 15, 20.
I have 20, and he has a movement speed of 20. Isn't it an action to drag her out?
It's an action to grapple her.
I can't. He's going to follow orders, so he's going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, and he on his next turn.
As the zombie begins to move in through the fog, you begin to watch as his body, as being touched by the fog, now begins to turn a solid white that's slowly starting to creep up his body as he moves in.
Okay, well, he's gonna follow orders, so
okay,
that's the end of his turn. Since I can't grab her and double move out, so.
Drummond, you are getting ready to peek and listen in through this door as the sound of marble on marble sliding let loose a terrible tuba trumpeting sound, far louder than anything you were expecting. You almost jump out of your skin, and it is blaring through here.
So the door they opened is the one that's making all the noise?
Yeah, pretty much. They opened a door that's it's like the screaming sun from Rick and Morty, and it just
God, not that.
Like it's that obnoxiously loud, and it's just ripping through here.
And then they everybody in the green kind of looks like they're in trouble.
Rudy and Thalion look like they're in trouble. Garshad is beginning to back out. You watch as Falk's zombie swordsman is moving in, and you're watching as this whiteness is sort of creeping up his leg and beginning to solidify it. Valeria is looking around confused, sort of covering her ears from the noise.
All right,
Cats and dogs
time to pull
living
some
together.
people out. We'll start with Rudy. Action grab Rudy. Cunning action. So 30 movement there at half speed. Be like, what did you guys do? And that'll be my turn.
Moonlight?
Moonlight is gonna stay with me and take the dodge action.
Okay. Oh, wait, did you move into the smoke, Drummond?
Maybe 1 square. Would you like a charisma?
Okay, yeah, so let's go back really quick. Once you move into there, I need a charisma saving throw. Okay. You will take 6 points of necrotic damage. As you sort of turn the corner, look around, and see Rudy, and you walk in and you place a hand on her shoulder. What are you... And you just stop. Your hand sort of frozen on her shoulder, and you're staring straight into the ball. That's the end of your turn. Moonlight.
Yeah, Moonlight is gonna stay with me and take the dodge action.
Elise.
If Elise came to, I would let go of her.
She was never under the effects of the... the
Oh, I thought she was, but still, anyways, I grabbed her, pulled, I still, no.
No problem.
That's why she was a little bit confused. Like, wait, what the heck is that? Oh god, my eyes are bleeding. Never mind that. Oh, freaking hell. I can't, yeah, because from where I'm standing, I can't actually see anything from the door, or in the door, right?
No, you can see the fire, you can see the fog, you can see your companions sort of stuck there. Some of them are staring dumbfoundedly at her and not moving, while others are beginning to panic.
Okay. So, and I'm gonna guess, oh yeah, because Drummond's also just standing there, right?
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna see if I can pull him out as well. She's not very strong though, so I don't know if
He's
she's
not
gonna be able to pull him
fighting you,
out.
he's paralyzed.
Okay.
So if you're gonna
So-
grab him, I say that you grab him.
Yeah, she's gonna grab him and pull him out. Out of the little cloud, at least. She's gonna go diagonal.
How far are you gonna move?
15, was that 10 around the corner?
So that
Put
was
him-
5. If you're gonna move diagonally back, that's 15 feet where you are.
Yeah.
Droman, there's a vivid image of your mind of what seem to be large, dog-like demons running on all fours in massive numbers, as a large, flat, white light shoots up into the sky like a laser, before turning and then slashing across this line of charging demons, kind of cutting them all in half, rendering them down, as they just instantly turn to salt and ash and just spray across this strange stoned landscape. And the light just continues and gets brighter and brighter and brighter until you're enveloped by it. And you start to come to as you're pulled out of this fog, sort of Elise pulling you out. Whatever vision you had lost now. So Drummond, you are no longer paralyzed. Elise, is that the end of your turn?
Yep.
Leomorn.
Alright. Just seeing this monstrosity. God, should I try to? Out of curiosity, I'm going to. He's gonna whip his glove hand, like flick his wrist, and create a little spark to create a mage hand. And I'm going to see if I can't at least shut one of the doors from where I'm at.
You cast Mage Hand and you shoot it out towards the door that Valeria is standing by, and you just watch as your hand, sort of illuminated by the flames, pushes up against the door, and the door does not budge. It weighs way more than what your Mage Hand is capable of.
Blast!
Mark, I hate to say this, but it should be Valeria's turn. It'll really have a 7. Laymorn has a 6.
Oh, what the hell happened there?
She forgot to click on her token during initiative.
Oh, I should have saw that. That's my bad. Laymorn, hold on to that turn.
Right. All right, retracting.
Valeria, you're watching as everybody is now beginning to fall underneath this paralyzing stare. I need you to make another charisma saving throw.
And normal. Get them out of here. I'll get the others, and then I fall. Oh, that was a close one.
The fog and smoke begin to come around you, and it's so hard to think. The noise, the closer you get here, is deafening. You sort of try to yell out, and you can't even hear your own voice. You know what you're saying, but your ears can't pick up anything other than the constant noise coming out from this door. As the fog sort of begins to encapsulate your body, you manage to shake off the effect of this numbingness that's trying to envelop you. You are not affected by the fog. What would you like to do?
Actually, I'm gonna try to close the door from one side.
Okay. So you use your action and you close. Your door.
Yeah, I thought Valeria was under.
The fog on your side begins to retreat somewhat. However, the side of the exposed area under which these guys are at right now, still open.
Okay.
So I will do this. There we go. Are you going to stay there?
And then, like, I guess what I'm trying to do is I'm going to stay here, and if in case anybody falls again, I'm going to try to pull them out on my turn.
What's your passive perception?
14.
Okay, so there's a sense of anxiety and dread that begins to sort of fill you as you begin to move away from the door and you look at it and you see as the door is slowly trying to swing its way open, but it is very slow. But you're watching as it's slowly moving open as if the force behind it is pushing it.
Okay.
Laymorn, you cast Mage Hand and you shoot it towards the right door and you push on it and it won't close. It needs a little bit more strength.
I'll probably quickly yell out, anyone with an extra pair of hands can really use some help right now.
You guys are watching as Leo is looking at everybody, and he looks like he's screaming, like hands are out, trying to explain or ask for help. But you guys can't make out his words. It is too loud.
Oh, crap. Yeah, I'm just probably gonna stand there, like kind of like a Jedi engineering, like trying to force grip the door closed.
Dalian. Or Garshadow, sorry.
Would Garshadow notice that door swinging at all?
I would say in this particular moment, Garshadow's master's eyes are bleeding blood, and he's standing in front of this flame. He is a lot more concerned about you than he is about a door that is imperceptibly swinging open.
Okay, so he is definitely going to move forward towards Thalion. Thalion, though, is kind of shaking his head as his intentions are to try and close that door instead of moving away. So Garshadow is waiting for his master.
Okay.
He'll pretty much prep to pull Thalion out once he's ready.
Sounds good. Rudy, I need a charisma saving throw. Ooh, you take 2 points of necrotic damage. We'll say 1 for each eye as they begin to bleed even more. You start to work your way back, sort of taking stuttering steps. You just, no. And then you stop again, and you sort of, body goes limp as you're looking again, as more and more of these visions are flooding into your mind, all of destruction. Just a catastrophe, an apocalypse is playing out before your eyes, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. Zirak.
There doesn't seem to be much that I or my magic can do from here, so I will shout some encouraging words to the party and say or take the dodge action.
I thought you were going to try to run up. Yes, you're paralyzed, Rudy.
No, I'm not going to run up and get paralyzed myself.
Oh, I thought you were going to run up and cast knock on the one door that was starting to open.
I don't have knock.
Or not knock, what is it? Hold portal.
I can only hold a portal open. I cannot hold a portal closed unless I'm on the other side of it. I can lock a door.
Oh, okay. Falk.
I'm going to order my zombie to close the other door, and I'm going to run up 5, 10, 15, 20, and I'm going to grab Rudy and pull her here. Out of the fog.
Okay. She almost seems to fall limp in your hands, but as soon as she gets fully out and you sort of crash against the left wall, like leaning on your shoulder and kind of holding her up, you feel the strength beginning to come back into her body as she begins to sort of furiously wipe at her eyes. I mean, there's like some professional wrestling, like smeared makeup with the blood happening to you guys that are still sort of cut or caught inside this strange area. Yeah, 1+1 net. Coming soon.
And then now do I see like the door creeping up?
You can see it slowly moving. Whatever force is behind it is kind of almost by the millimeter kind of pushing this thing open on its own accord. Almost getting ready to butt up against Garshadow, who's standing close to it looking at Thalion for guidance.
Yeah, Garshadow's in the way. I can't go up and hold the door shut.
Okay, that's the end of your turn.
So, yes.
Thalion. I need a charisma saving throw. Okay, 7. You sort of shake it off, and you lunge forward and you touch the door, and then you try not to look, and then your head swings towards the flames, and then you just stop. and you stand back and your hands go limp again as now you're starting to cry out of both corners of your eyes, these long streams of blood that just begin to trickle down and drip on your disguise as you never imagined such horrific things would ever be shown to you in your mind. It's devastating. You are paralyzed. That is the end of your turn. Falk Zombie. Falk, you push him forward, and you watch as the white begins to grow and grow until it gets to his hips. There's an audible cracking as he takes a step towards Thalion, and you watch as his lower extremities break off and crumble into white, dust-like material. And as his waist crumbles, his body lands fully in the fog, and you begin to watch as the fog begins to crawl over the body after he sort of pushed it away, and as the zombie is now being covered by this alabaster white creepness that begins moving up over and starting to cover it fully. Falk Zombie is dead.
Son of a... God damn it.
Drummond.
Alright, so I don't want to step in that again. So I'd like to take out my 50 feet of rope, tie a loop, and then use my mage hand to get it over Thalion and pull him out.
Okay. Mage hand goes over, drops it right over him. This is the sticky rope.
This is just a regular hemp rope. 50 feet
Okay.
of hemp rope.
It gets him sort of around the shoulders. Very cartoon and like Red Dead Redemption style, and you sort of tighten it up and then you begin to pull.
So yeah, even if I have to move, I've got 60 feet of movement with... No. At half movement, I've got...
20, 30, or 10, 20, 30. So it'll take 40 feet of movement to pull Thalion out of that predicament.
Okay, so I can...
Can't you pull on the rope?
So I think in essence what he's doing is dropping the rope, putting it on his shoulder, and then he's going to start pulling Thalion out.
Okay.
And then cutting out...
Thalion, you sort of get drug out, and as soon as you exit the fog, you come to, and you see that there's a rope around you, and you're sort of looking at the fog that for some reason cannot pass the threshold or barrier of where you're currently standing at the moment. It's like the scene in Hunger Games where the fog is rolling down the hill, and then eventually they reach the pool of water, and it sort of hits an invisible wall and curls up. That's kind of what you're seeing in front of you.
So 40 feet to pull him out at half speed, and then the rest of it to get back up to here.
Okay.
And that'll be...
Moonlight.
Moonlight is doing the same thing he was doing last turn. I'm not effective in this scenario, I think. So I'm just going to hang back and watch what happens. I'll help if somebody calls for my help.
It's a tough scenario.
Yeah, I at least as far as an owl goes, I don't think there's much he could do. So he's just going to hang back with me and watch the heroes figure this one out.
Please. Elise is going to take the dodge action. Valeria.
Sorry, I heard nothing. But yeah, she's gonna take dodge action.
Oh, okay. Did you want to do something?
No, I just noticed that it was like totally silent, and I was like, whoa, what just happened? Sorry.
Valeria.
I gotta finish what I guess he can't hear me, but I guess I'm gonna go back in and try to close the other side of the door.
Okay.
Oh, that's what. Fuck. I was gonna do that.
Damn, I had something.
5.
Okay. Show me where you move.
10, 15. So I would like say I'm going this direction, like 10, 15, and then I would try to close it from I guess, would I be able to close it from this side, or would I have to get to the other side?
Not from there.
You can hold that door
Okay.
closed. That door is
Okay, I
open.
guess I can. Oh, I'll hold that one. I'll hold that one closed then.
Okay, you're gonna hold the door closed.
I can't end my turn. I can't end my turn here though, because there's somebody here. So.
That is true.
So yeah, you just guys can pull me out, I guess.
Why don't you?
As
never
you
mind.
step in and grab the door, I need a charisma saving throw with advantage, as you have successfully saved twice. With an almighty scream, you grab the door, terrified of the images that are trying to worm their way into your mind, that are sort of threatening everything that you hold dear, and you slam the door shut, and the fog dissipates and disappears, and the door is closed. The loud clarion call of the doom trumpet, I guess you can say, stops. Your ears are ringing. Why won't you let? Your ears are ringing. It's hard to hear anything, but it seems that the threat has been averted.
That is amazing resolve, Valeria.
What in the hell was that thing?
Valeria, whenever I ask you if you're okay to open a door, you say no!
I'm going to inspect
I got
my...
cut off.
And it's strange as you guys move back into this hallway area. And there's a strange sense of calm. Like standing on a dock watching a hurricane coming at you, and everything seems still. But in the pit of your stomach, there is a terrible feeling gnawing at the pit of it. This sort of shadow growing in the back of your mind, while this strange calming emotion, and the two trying to play off of each other, it's like oil and vinegar. The longer you stand here, the more uncomfortable you get.
Definitely not that way.
No wonder that hallway was clear. Perhaps it's better to take the paths that are more well-traveled.
Everyone all right?
I am fine, but I'm a bit confused as to why somebody would put that thing behind those doors unless they were trying to protect something very valuable. There must be some way past it, but I can't for the life of me.
Zurich?
Like it's just a straight intelligence?
Yes, you're trying to remember something that you've heard. For some reason, sin pops into your mind at this moment, and it's disgusting. You're like, ugh, fucking hate her. You don't know why at this moment it popped into your head, but for some reason the correlation of this door and her. What a bitch.
Question: were those images very similar to the images Niatu showed Thalion?
You saw what seemed to be demons fighting against the insectoid people that Niatu belonged to on a strange kind of desert-like plain with these large, towering, what almost seemed to be like termite mounds. And that's kind of what you saw. But this was, I guess, like biblical Armageddon, I guess you could say, is like the closest thing to describe it. It almost seemed to be like things made of pure light, using light to smite down things that were formed of absolute darkness and shadow. It's as if these doors are keeping something back, or trying to keep something inside.
So, Mark, I'm looking at my statuized zombie. Is it like made out of marble now?
Nope. You sort of bend down and you can like pick up a zombie finger and hold it in your hand, and it's salt.
Yeah, I'll lick it. Hey, this is salt, guys.
You guys are looking at what once was a dead person that was rotting as it walked along, now turned into salt. Falk is digging it.
I will
Zurich silently once again counts his blessings that he did not get involved in necromancy while he was in wizarding school, because that shit
Thank God
is
I wasn't in
gross.
Slytherin House, Zurich.
Yep,
Anyway.
I'm so glad I didn't take up the tendency to lick dead things off my fingers.
I will pocket some of my zombie for later.
Okay, so you just sort of fill up a random robe pocket full of salt. You have pocket salt in case somebody decides to get in a fight with you.
I was gonna say, if there was a finger live, are you gonna like reanimate it like a mini thing?
It's official. Falk is officially grosser than Lovecraft.
So then, which door?
At least it's not that one.
Yes, definitely not that one.
Well, I got 2 left. Should we like take a peek behind them first before we decide to open them?
Well, do we want to continue, or should we take a rest? Because looking at the rest of us, we're all pretty banged up.
We're in a hallway that's gonna have some traffic, and we have no idea when. This would not be the best place to take a rest, as much as I would like to. And I'm saying that as I'm wiping blood from my eyes.
Exactly. It's not safe to rest here. So pressing on is unfortunately what we have to do now.
Droman, was that the door you were checking when we opened the other one?
This one seemed to have the most activity through it, so I wanted to listen to see if somebody was coming, so we weren't just surprised if somebody came through this.
"4 hours. You guys took 2 short rests already. One inside Parasha's after dispatching the swordsman, taking the time to mend and clean their outfits so you guys could wear them, and then you guys decided to kind of take a rest and argue amongst each other after fighting the Hellhounds. So about 4 hours of in-game time.
I would like to listen at this door over here and see if I hear anything.
Okay, so Droman silently pads down towards this door, and Droman, you sort of rub at your ears and like stick your pinky in after you get it inside your hood and kind of clear it out, trying to get the sound back, and you put it into the seam in the middle of the door. And give me a perception check. You hear a roaring scream. Hold him down, you hear a voice say. Hold him down and pierce the skin. There's some shit going on by this door.
Sounds like they might be fighting another demon inside this room.
Well, they didn't call it the Demon Hold for nothing.
The name's quite on the nose, isn't it?
It does seem fitting.
You know,
Xerac, as you sort of get closer, you sort of lean against the door and press your ear against it, and moonlight flies off your shoulder to give you some more space, and he sort of leans in closer, kind of mimicking you. So why don't both of you give me a perception check? Moonlight's is at advantage. You press your ear against the door, and it is quiet. It's the same sound of sort of trapped air trying to get out. Like if you put your palm too close against your ear, or putting a seashell up against it, it's that same sort of constant static noise. But Moonlight's young voice kind of pierces into your mind, kind of startling you a bit as you focus. There's scraping on the other side. Something moving. More than one thing.
I turn around and whisper to, I guess, Leomorn, who's closest to me. There is something on the other side of this door, but it is trying to be quiet itself, not making much noise.
Dead things. Dead things. We should go.
Can you guess how many?
More than two.
Ah, right. So another one.
However, that said, it seems a little more peaceful over here than it does with what Dromund heard.
So as you're turning around, sort of speaking to Leomorn, you hear Moonlight give a hooting squawk as he jumps backwards, and you hear as the door begins to open. And Leomorn, you're kind of stopped mid-sentence as the door begins to open, and you see another of the sort of undead, armored, masked creatures throwing the door open, getting ready to lunge at Xerac. Where are you going? You're staying there. We're going to roll initiative.
Oh, I thought I was making room for the door. That's all I was doing.
You sneaky bugger.
I figured the door needs at least 15 feet to open, so I should move back a little bit.
Probably give it some space.
You got to press the handicap button and give it time to slide open.
And it appears our decision was made for us.
I can't.
And I get to be the tanky wizard once again.
I can't find where this thing is. It's too many handouts.
Valyria, save me! I don't like these creatures! They look like how Falk looks like when he wakes up in the morning.
After he's done his little party trick.
No, I think these things are probably better looking than when Falk does his party trick.
This is true. Very true.
Isn't that the point of the party trick, though?
Is to look worse than hell? Yes, I think. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not a necromancer.
You know, Chris, you've kind of thrown down the challenge a little bit. I'm thinking that for some campaign, I'm going to have to try and compete with you and make an even creepier character than you've made.
Okay. Have I set some bars that you guys aren't telling me?
No, I think
that would
tell
make a
you.
great Halloween special is to make like the creepiest character you could roll up and see if it compares to Falk.
By the way, Mark gave me that spell. He supplied it on an extra spell list. So
Yeah, I mean, I told him, I'm like, you don't have to use it, but you can. He's like, come use it.
Of course he'll use it.
But I'm waiting until I level up, or if I can find some way to acquire a certain other spell. That way, yeah.
Top of round 1, Rudy, your head snaps, your adrenaline beginning to move forward as you hear the sound of an opening door, and everybody suddenly goes silent, and you look down the hallway. And you see a armored and masked undead warrior carrying what seems to be one battle axe in its right hand and a shield in the other, wearing a mishmash of plate and chain that have been kind of welded together haphazardly.
I would say that everything is quiet except for Zirak's shrill scream of terror as he calls out for Valyria.
Rudy is not home right now. Can I take a message?
Are you taking the dodge action?
I'm going. I will move here, and I will take the dodge action.
Okay. Leomord stands still as she kind of like folds behind him, using him as cover.
Hey, what?
That's the end of Rudy's turn. This one, you hear the sound of armored feet and jangling armor running towards you, Zirak. 10, 15. I'm going to try to incur the wrath of Zirak. He's going to slice down at the owl that has sort of flown up in front of you protectively.
Oh
Missing
my
with
god,
a
thank
5.
goodness.
As Moonlight comes up and flaps his wings really fast and then goes backward a bit, dodges out of the way, leaving this thing open as it catches its foot, and it's going to come down and try to nail you in the hip, Zirak. An 8. And you get out of the way, and it's just so off balance from the first hit. Next attack against this creature has advantage. We'll give him the wrench. That's the end of his turn.
Moonlight is going to, well, shoot. I can't really move by 2 of them, can I? Well, yeah, I can. Kind of, sort of. No, I can't. I'm going to just have to use my flyby to this one. Because if I move here or try to fly over their heads, I will provoke from this one, if I do flyby against this one. So, I'm just going to have to double advantage number 2 here. As I just kind of, I guess, I'll roleplay it out. Moonlight, actually getting attacked for the first time in this campaign is a little taken aback, shocked by that, and just since the creature was clumsy in its attack, he just reaches out and scratches at his eyes in retaliation to being attacked, buffeting its wings, and with its wings fully outstretched, you realize just how big an owl really is, since they have like 4-foot wingspans. And he just kind of buffets it with air and flaps backwards to land or to hover over by Valeria.
Okay. As it retreats in your mind, Xeric, you hear him say, "I don't even want to be here."
Yes, he has been saying that since the beginning. We don't belong here. We should leave. I told you so.
Okay. And then, so did he do that at this one, or did he do the help action against this one?
I had to do it against number 2, or I would provoke.
Oh, flyby. That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Garshadow.
Garshadow, seeing undead creatures near a companion, is going to charge forward and pounce red 2.
Okay. This is done at advantage. Whew. 24 definitely hits. It comes red 2's saving throw.
Keep forgetting to add the 4 for the undead.
13. Okay, here comes the strength save. 5, so he fails, so he is knocked prone. Go ahead and make your bite attack with advantage. 22 will hit.
So that's 16.
A lot of damage against that dude. He is prone in front of you, Xeric. There we go.
Good kitty.
And you're watching as Garshadow is just sort of police dogging the forearm holding onto the shield and just sort of shaking this thing. So at the end of his turn?
Yes.
Very good turn. Leomorn, shit's going down!
After hearing Zach just screech, probably would have mistaken.
It was kind of a girly scream, but...
I am going to run 5, 10, 15, 20, grab anything on Xeric and just try to pull him back for the rest of my movement.
Okay, so you can move him 5 feet backwards if you grab onto him with your action.
Yeah, I'll just give him a little bit of space.
Okay.
I kind of want to resist that movement.
So you go out to reach him, and
there's a good reason, Leomorn. I don't know if you've seen my technique and the way I fight, but I shoot a cone of goddamn fire, and if you pull me back, I'm going to burn Garshadow. So if you want me to fry Garshadow,
grapple check.
Yeah, I'm going to resist
I need a
that.
contested grapple check. From
I don't know you're going to do that.
I like where you're going. I like your idea to save me, but I'm like, wait a minute. My thumbs are they're itching to touch each other right now.
Well, how dare you put your hands on me, employee? I need an athletics check. Xeric, I need athletics or acrobatics.
Yeah, you're gonna beat me. My strength is not that good.
11.
Dude, I have a 7 strength. That's why I'm... Oh! So the situation doesn't change.
You are stuck there pulling on him, and he's like, get off of me! Leave me alone! And
Funny because I think both of you guys have 7s in your strengths.
No, he has the 7. I got the -2. He's got the +2.
This is a true battle of wills. This is like two chihuahuas pulling at the same rope. This is fantastic. That was your action. That was your action, Lamorn. You can release him and move backwards if you wish, or you can stay there. Because you still have some 10 feet of remaining movement if you're not grappled onto anything.
I think after the first tugs and I get that look from like, okay, fine, but if you don't you move back.
Okay, Lamorn goes 10 feet back. Five, 10, 15. It's going to take an attack at both Zirak and Garshadow. First one's on Zirak as it comes across and kind of slices. 17. Ken. Okay. The axe rebounds and he comes and he slashes it down towards Garshadow like the back of his neck.
Yay, that recharges my ward.
17 on Garshadow.
Hit me by 1.
His AC is getting redonk. Garshadow's going to take 2 max damage, 10 points of slashing, and you hear him yelp in pain as the battle axe on this creature digs in. And he sort of puts his armored boot on Garshadow's face and kind of kicks him off, and he wrenches it free, the blood sort of arcing and spattering on the walls around you, Zirak. You guys hear a voice echoing down the hallway. Zirak, you hear it pretty loudly inside the room, though you cannot see the source. I will not be taken. I will fight for what's mine. And you watch as Red 4's eyes begin to glow. And he's going to cast Magic Missile at Zirak.
Excellent. Mark, read the last sentence of Shield.
I know, that's why I'm doing it. He didn't see you cast Shield.
That makes me happy.
You watch as the undead warrior's eyes begin to turn this bright white, and then off the force field in front of you. And you kind of take a step back at the force that was used to do it. And then you watch as the creature sort of bends down again into its like lurching form, battle axe in hand. Valyria.
I'm going to cast Turn Undead.
Okay.
Whoosh.
Okay, we're going to start with the 3 stooges up front. And then we'll do the one in the back. So we'll go red 2, red 3, red 4 first. So here comes red. Success. Hit red 3. Success. Red 4. Success. Red 1. Failure. So red 1 immediately turns and he's like trying to move through the tapestries in the back corner of this room, trying to get away. And now I get to do this gentleman's. He has advantage on this. That is a success.
Alright. I can do because I have no more bonus actions.
Okay. I believe this guy... Oh, this is one of the guys that succeeded. He's going to take a step forward. I shouldn't have done that. There you go. He's going to move into red 4 space, attack Garshadow twice, and move back unless Garshadow falls. Okay, 2 attacks at normal on Garshadow with the battle axe. 6 and a 14, which I believe misses.
Both miss.
And he does move back away from Garshadow, provoking from both Zirak and Garshadow for you guys to want to take.
I used my reaction to cast shield, so I can't attack them.
Sorry, that was not a crit.
21 will hit. What's the +1 pierce? Oh, because the extra crit damage. Okay, that's still max damage that rends the armor on the chest, dropping his AC by. So that is 16. And then we'll give him that. Oh, and I'll put a 1 on. One point of armor damage. Okay, that's the end of his turn.
Did I hear that yelling from the mysterious person?
You could get the end of it, yeah.
Because I was gonna reply back. What's yours will now belong to me.
Okay.
And I was going to, from here, attack, oh, shit. I'm going to attack number 4 with Ray of Frost.
$15 misses as he sort of ducks down below Garshadow, and your Ray of Frost sort of arcs off the wall and covers it in a layer of permafrost.
Shit. I'm going to say where I'm...
Okay. Elise.
Mark, do these creatures look similar to the one that escaped out the south door when we were fighting in here before?
No. Elise will take the dodge action. He can't do anything except dash, so he's just going to try to run into the wall because he's not a very intelligent undead. This one does not look like the creature that escaped before. The other creatures seem to be quite intelligent in the way it fought. You remember that by the way it attacked. By the way it attacked the light barriers, cracking them, setting loose the demons, so it had a chance to escape. These ones almost have a mongoloid kind of like, we're just here to kill things, we're under control.
Okay, so these are more like berserker undead kind of things.
They're more like zombies, but with a greater purpose, I guess would be a good way to describe them.
Okay.
But they don't seem to be as intelligent as the white that escaped before. At least if you don't say anything and I wait for 10 seconds and it's just dead air, I have to move on. It's just, it takes
Sorry,
too long.
I was waiting for Ken to finish the question because I was like, oh, okay, never mind.
Zirak.
Okay, so showing Leomorn that I mean business, I'm going to, and not that I don't like that he tried to help me. I'm very appreciative of that. But I am going to fan the flames. I don't think number 4 will be included, but I can
We'll
get 2 and 3.
2 and 3.
Yeah, and that's fine. I will go ahead and Burning Hands these 2 guys.
And as the flames begin to lick in, you hear the same voice, "Fool! Do not burn this place!" here comes their dexterity saves. They have a +0. 18. And a 2. So Red 2 rolls out of the way, and however, Red 3 was kind of struck dumbfounded as you shot the flames out.
And then, so it's only 8 damage as a first level spell slot. I will go ahead and move back now. Excuse me.
Is that half
taking
damage?
half damage on a success, and the full 8 on a.
Okay, so this guy takes 4. The one on the ground is not looking.
So I think I actually provoke from the one on the ground would have disadvantage, and number 4
to lash
could
out
attack
at your
me.
ankles. The worst feeling in the world. Here we go. Ooh, 6. Not
Yep,
good.
I jump over him as he lashes out.
Okay, good turn. Drummond.
We're gonna go see what trouble they got into this time. We'll go ahead and throw my lucky dagger at number 4.
You throw it, embeds right into the eye socket, and as it sort of like turns around and begins to regard everybody again. Definite hit. Okay.
And I will stay there.
Okay, good turn, Thalion.
And as I get there, before I move forward, I'm going to slash down on Red 2, seeing as he's prone and whirling around.
Getting ready to chop some wood. Yup. I'm not even gonna make you roll damage.
Oh, I didn't even notice I get the crit. My thing finally triggers.
Go ahead and roll your D10, I believe. Or is it 2D10? I can't remember. D10.
1d10.
So you gain 8 health points as the sort of crystalline cocoon begins to emanate from your necklace that you got from Niatu and sort of covers your body before cracking with light and then falling to the ground around you. You feel restored.
And then I'm going to spin and strike with the offhand on Red 3.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't mean to keep...
9 will miss. You gonna stay there?
Yes, I am going to...
Okay, top of round 2, Rudy.
So guess I will move forward. And I shall attack Red 3.
Okay. Man, Rudy's brave as shit. .27 definitely hits.
Is it dead?
He is still up, but just barely.
I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to use my, Psycho Smile.
Okay, then you bring it down and you slash it across both of them, cutting this Dread Warrior at the waist as he sort of folds in on himself and lands to the ground unmoved.
And number 4 gets my second attack.
Ready for this one, he drops his shield down as you try to bring it in for the waist again, and he repulses your short sword.
Alright, that will be my turn.
It is Moonlight's turn.
Moonlight is going to fly up to number 4 and scratch it in the face and get back as fast as he can.
Next attack against Red 4 has advantage. Garshadow.
The two animals are working together. Garshadow out last time, too.
Garshadow growls at this guy who chopped at him. Is going to try and leap up and bite for the neck to pull him down.
Yup. Go ahead and roll damage. This might end him. Okay, so it's going to be 6 plus 7 for 13 plus 4, 17. And that is the end of this one. As he had 16 health remaining. Leomorn. All three of them in the door seem to be dead. There seems to be one you saw kind of run out of your vision into the room further.
Bloody hell. Why do they always run? Guess I'm just gonna have to move up just a bit. Because I don't think I can move past everybody, could I?
You can. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Oh no, you'd have to double move. And you can just barely see him unless you move into Valeria's space, and you can see him and then move back out of it if you want to.
I better take a quick peek around the corner. Oh, bloody hell, there's another one. Just press myself against the wall.
No attack, or are you just going to take the dodge action?
Yeah, I was going to take dodge.
The voice comes back, and there's a bit of panic in it, and with almost a resigned sigh, yield. I yield. And you watch as the one that was in the corner stops moving and then just collapses to the ground. Valeria.
Mm-hmm.
Show yourself.
Does anybody have intentions of going into the room, finding this voice, and attacking it?
Not attacking it, but I was gonna go find it.
Okay, so I will say that we are out of initiative.
I am going to pet Garshadow on the head as I use our bond to mend some of his wounds. Whoops, I didn't mean to click that.
Garshadow lights on fire. Roll damage.
Congratulations. Congratulations, he's evolved into a flaming kitty.
He now has a Hellcat.
Okay, so as you guys now begin to take a closer look at this room,
You mean he turned into a Litten?
you stare along the walls, and you see tapestries hung everywhere, depicting life within what looks like a desert oasis city. And they just line the walls in a sort of continuous tapestry fresco of scenes moving seamlessly all the way around the room. Strange humped animals palm trees, great sand dunes are sort of expertly sewn into these fine silks. Standing screens here and here. Falk, will you stop moving?
Sorry.
Trying to describe stuff. Jeez. Standing screens of colored quartz that depict scenes of the same nature divide the space into smaller sections containing couches to the side and what seem to be desks to the north and west side of the room. Displayed prominently on the wall, in between these two desks, is a pair of large, white, feathered wings. You look at the nubs from which they were cut. The blood on the large, torn joints have long since turned black. You are not of the consortium. Why are you here?
To free those that are imprisoned here.
Then
Who
you
are
come
you?
to free me as well.
Do we want Falk to represent us?
It's too late. Nobody said nothing.
And who are you?
Are you a prisoner as well?
I was once one with much prestige, and leave it to one small mistake. And now I am confined within this place, a prisoner much like everyone else. Mother does not like mistakes.
We've heard a lot about this mother. Can you tell us more?
Then you haven't heard much at all, have you, Ranger?
And who are you? Do you have a name? I am Falk.
Ah, yes. One of the pit fighters, if I recall. One of Mota's pets.
Was a pit fighter.
You should see his name. Here I am known as Vosal, the Frost Whisperer.
I'm curious, Vosal. You recognized Falk. Do you recognize all the prisoners?
Just the ones that piqued my interest.
Tell me, did you see a woman who may have had a blue feather like this one on me? Or another reddish hair, magic that controlled animals or took on animal forms?
The magics of life don't interest me, Ranger, which is why I took a liking to this Falk. His necromancy can wreak much havoc if controlled properly. But I was denied. But yes, I know of this blue-feathered woman, the Shadow Walker. She is not within my vault, if that is what you ask. You'll find her deep within. Mother likes dealing with thorns personally. And your Elytrona has been quite a large thorn.
You say you were a prisoner here yourself. Is there some way you can help us help you?
You being here presents me with a means of escape. Allow me to escape. And everything in this room Its secrets are yours.
Uh,
And since you mean to delve further into this place, my key is yours.
Thank you. I was just going to ask if he knew anything about the keys.
Give me your
since he
key, you crispy bastard.
Since he offered the information willingly, I'll go ahead and just let him offer it.
And you can see that he is, in fact, a true undead lich. One of the first any of you have ever set eyes on. And he is quite a strange.
One of my instructors wasn't a lich at school?
No, he would have been killed automatically. Like, lichdom is terrible. It's a crime against the soul, what these people do. Which is why necromancy is so shunned but still taught, because it can be used for good. Becoming a lich isn't like a feather in someone's cap. It's the ultimate sign that they have created the greatest sin against the gods in the world. They are illegally prolonging their lives.
Do you by chance know of another one such as ourselves known as Sin?
Or another one such as ourselves? Did he just announced that he's a lich?
Necromancy, Rudy. Necromancy.
I've not heard of one called Sin.
There's a bag of chips.
With his offer that he first mentioned, well,
You step up further, and he kind of backs away from you, Thalium, defensively. He kind of moves like a Skeksis, like his arms are kind of out in front of him, and he looks like an incredibly frail thing. But,
That's so funny because I was picturing a Skeksis in my head when you were using the voice.
yeah. And he's sort of backing away. His body looks frail, but there is a fierce intelligence that glows from his eye sockets in his withered skull. Usually trapped animals are the most dangerous.
I will mean you no harm. I will hold you to your deal that you made if you can explain some of the secrets in here to our wizard, and if you leave that crystal so we can delve in further.
Follow me.
I will follow.
And he kind of begins to move through, his long robes kind of trailing behind him. It's strange. It almost looks like he's kind of floating, and there's no sound of footfalls. As he sort of makes his way past the divider, he looks at you, Lamorn. And then he looks at Valyria, and his lip kind of curls a little bit as he looks at you, and he starts making his way through towards the door. Let me move these guys out of the way.
What was that?
And he exits the room.
Could I quickly skim over these desks before we go?
Yeah, you look on the desks.
I'm not touching anything.
Okay, you look on the desks, and there are some paper, blank paper, as well as a well of ink. You get Vietnam flashbacks of the tower and kind of step away really quickly, but you do see that they're pretty busy with what seems to be work. If you wouldn't mind stepping to the side, that way the others won't be alerted.
Is there anything shiny in this room everybody's leaving? It's been a while
There's some
since
shiny stuff on the dead bodies. The chain shirts they wear are actually in quite good shape. Some of them are wearing chainmail. Their axes are actually in pretty good shape, as well as their shields. Although they are undead, they are carrying with them good set of clothes.
Nothing I can quickly pocket though.
Falk, you watch as he moves down to this door,
Before he rounds the corner, I would like to ask him, as I point towards the door across the way, that hallway seemed to be trapped. What can you tell us about the contents behind that door?
Did you open it? And his eyes kind of grow brighter. What did you see?
I wasn't close enough to see anything clearly, but some of my allies here saw terrors.
The end of days.
Interesting. The Door of Shadows. That is its name. And with it comes truth to those that alight their eyes upon the flame within. The doors themselves were taken from an incredibly old temple far to the north. The powers within hold back the portal. It is interesting, but the doors themselves repulse me in a way that I cannot describe.
That's the
Count yourselves lucky, mortals. You stared into the hole of the Shadowfell and survived. And he begins walking down the hallway.
I nod my head and thanks for the information.
He makes his way down to the south. The door that Droman told you guys was full of screaming and voices. And he pushes them open.
Do Droman and I find anything in this room?
If you guys aren't going to be digging into the desks, then no.
Okay, I'm gonna snatch that inkwell. I need to pickpocket something.
Okay, I mean, there's stuff on the dead bodies. A lot of the stuff themselves are in the desks and the desk drawers. You go here, and there's some spare robes. It's a very austere monk-like quality to this room, except for the decorations, perhaps of a place he used to be from. Perhaps this is from a place he used to call home. But you kind of see, in a strange way, a kindred spirit, much like Zirak. The pursuit of knowledge takes precedence over anything that could be considered material. And this room is pretty much a temple to that. You grab the inkwell, pocket it.
We have to get something.
He opens the door, and the screaming and the roaring begin to echo through the hallway. And you hear what sounds like iron chains being pulled taut. And like the creaking of heavy wood and the stretching and screeching of metal. And a voice from within, "Hold it still. Bleed it. We need the blood." And then you hear Vosal sort of call out as he steps through the door, "That is enough for now. Leave us. Check on the jail cells." And all you hear is the clinking of metal and screaming of a large beast from within.
Dalian continues to listen as he waits.
"You may approach." He turns around. "They have left us." You step into this room, and immediately it's the smell that hits you, Falk, Thalion. Even Garshadow somewhat recoils. The walls of this place are full of what seem to be implements of torture and are hung with thick black iron chains covered in cruel barbs and hooks. You look along the walls and you see spears encrusted with what seem to be black ichor. Dried matted hair and fur splotched over like a bad Jackson Pollock painting. In a few places, the black chains are attached to the floor by large bolts. Strips of thick, leathery skin sort of hang off some of the hooks themselves like sun-dried leather. The chains are cruelly barbed. Looking at them, you probably don't want to get too close. And in the northeast corner of the room, thrumming, is a black gate, similar to one of the gates that you entered.
I think I'm gonna be sick again.
And you see the demon below sort of arches back and his head snaps back and he looks. Undead scum, I will kill you when I get free. Let me loose, mortals, and I will kill this thing. Don't
No.
He doesn't like it when he's bled.
It doesn't seem like it would be in our best interest.
What was that?
I said that does not seem like it would be in our best interest.
No, they are quite capricious things, these demons. All death and destruction. I do apologize for the state of this room, but bleedings can be quite messy. And this is the closest portal for which we can all make our escape.
Do you have a way of activating it?
I like how Thalion and Falk are like fighting for like who's standing next to him.
Well, he's offering knowledge.
I assume you walk with Parasha's key. Her inevitable undoing.
I'm assuming then you intend to walk with us so you can hold on to yours?
No. Once I leave this place, I am never coming back. I have fallen out of favor here. And I will continue my studies somewhere else.
And so if we let you help you escape, I can have all the knowledge in your room?
You can have it. Everything important I carry inside me. And he sort of taps his temple. And you hear the dull thudding sound of bone against bone.
Thalion, don't you have Parasha's key?
Indeed.
May we have your key as well?
He did offer his key.
Nice.
He takes the key from around his neck, and you see this one is not a clear crystal, but almost what seems to be a giant, long, angular ruby, cut in the same way that the crystal glyph key that Thalion has that you guys got from Parasha, and similar to the one from Rezamota, except this one is a deep, deep crimson ruby. The size of it, Droman, you look at it and you're like, oh my god, like, that's worth a lot of money. And you see him pull this thing from his chest. Place your hand upon this key, folk of the pit.
I place my hand on the key.
Step to the gate. and he touches the red key to the black gate, and immediately you watch it begin to fluctuate. Think of the place you entered. How did you get in?
I close my eyes and I start to think and say out loud about the tower and the portal.
And you watch as it fluctuates, and then through the other side of this black gate is an image of the tower. Valeria, he sort of looks back at you again. The distaste in his voice, you can hear it when he speaks to you. There is no breaking the brand of what happened to Parasha. If Mother wants you to stay, you stay. Let's just say that devilish little girl, well, she knew what she was doing.
Do you happen to know a way to break it?
And you are acting of your own free will as well, so you know what you're doing. What if you upset this mother? Could you be so branded as to risk you being trapped here forever as well?
Why do you think I leave this place? When you attacked, I thought you were her cronies coming to take me for my judgment.
Well, at least we're not on the
You were
disguises
not.
are working.
And we have struck a deal.
Yes, we have. Any information you have that will be helpful, please give it. Is there a way to break such a brand?
You'd have to ask Mother.
Is Mother behind those doors? And I point to the doors to the
No.
west.
Mother is within the eye of eternity. That is where she conducts her experiments. That is where all the precious things are kept. You see, if you were to kill me, my soul would be sent to the eye. For that is where I have a phylactery kept. But I made another and hid it out in the world. If I die outside of this place, I go there. Away from here. Away from their lie.
Well, I wish you the best of luck, Volsol.
And he looks to Thalion. If you're looking for someone with the power of life and animals, let's just say she'll be held in the Nexus. That is where they drain the god magic to power this place. You didn't think the walls glowed on their own accord, did you not? If you want to hurt her deeply. You will damage these gates as you go if you wish to go further. Access to the Nexus is only allowed if you hold 4 keys. These gates are held by the masters of 4 vaults, and only together can they be opened to enter the Nexus. But if you damaged some of these gates, the distribution of power within would be damaged. You could even take the fight to Mother in the eye after that, with its defenses so weakened. He doesn't have lips, but you could swear he's smiling at the thought.
He has that skeletal smile.
So then, after achieving 4 keys, best way to weaken the defenses would be to damage the gates after entering through them?
I'd say damaging 8, but you must be careful. Damaged gates can be finicky. You don't know where they'll drop you if you activate them.
Would this be the one we should use your key through to get to the next area?
I have a gift for you. A place of my own creation within. A refuge. Of a place long since forgotten by time. I will say it is dangerous to go there more than not. For you chance upon the ire and drawing her eye towards this place. A hidden dimension of my own making. That is what I offer you for my freedom, and that is what I give you when I walk through this gate. He leans in close to you, Falk. After I am gone, all you must do is press the key to the gate and speak the words, Twilight Garden. And it will take you there. I have a key inside the desk you may have when I leave. It will gain you access to the menagerie and to the Aquatus, should you wish to go there. I do not know what your endgame is, why you've stumbled into this place, but I do appreciate the danger of the situation.
Mark, did he give me his key? The one
You're
that was
holding
in the
on
chest?
to it. He has like his bony hand on it, and you too.
He did just say the other ones to gain access to the other areas is at his desk.
This place is a moving object, like a beehive. It will not take the others long to come back and find out what's wrong.
I guess we should get moving. I believe we have a deal.
Think of where you came from, Falk. Think of the portal you entered.
And I do just that for him.
And he lets go and he steps into the portal. And he walks through. Stepping into the other side, he stops, holds his hands down, and he looks up. And he looks forward as a black door opens in front of him. And he steps through it. And he vanishes.
I put the key, if it's on a necklace, I will put it around my neck.
Okay. Falk is holding one of 4 ruby black gate key.
And I'm going to go check his desk real quick to follow up with what he said.
Okay.
I was going to suggest we maybe rest, close the doors and everything, and try to see if maybe we could rest in there.
I think
And
the
then
rest was probably in that secret place he offered for us to go to.
But that was a risk also as well.
Man, this is great. I can't believe you guys made a deal with a lich.
Why wouldn't I? But yeah, I'm going to go back and search through his notes.
So I'm going to search his desk for the key that he mentioned.
Did he ever say what was behind this door?
He
I
did
don't
not.
think so.
Just that Mother was not back there. Okay. I want to go listen at this door.
Is this a desk that I'm sitting there, Mark?
I'm by the desk.
There's a couple in here.
I thought that was like a coffee table where you're at. If we're moving too fast, Mark, you can move us back.
Nope, you guys are good.
Well, with that, you cut out.
You guys are good. I'm just making sure I have everything pulled up that I need pulled up once we get
Okay.
to this room here.
Yeah, I was just going to take all of his
A lot
notes.
of stuff in initiative here. Hold on.
In initiative?
No, just fucking with you.
God damn it!
Oh, don't do that, Mark.
The
Are you
door
guys-
closes and the room fills with wine and we can't escape.
Okay, as you guys are moving back up, Zerak kind of pads his way over towards the door, and you listen. And there's a thrumming noise coming from the other side, Zerak. Thrum, thrum, thrum.
So it sounds like a machine of some kind or an instrument?
It sounds like energy.
Okay. I'm intrigued by that because it seems magical in nature, but I don't want to stray from the group, as Valeria says. So I will join the others in studying the Lich's notes.
Okay. Falk Thalion. Give me investigation checks.
Really? A roll of 4?
Falk. You're going through that desk. And you see what seem to be several drafts of a letter composed over and over again, shoved into one of the drawers. And you see the top read, "Dearest Mother, Vakarine." And you see that the words are him almost begging, asking for another chance to redeem himself. Another chance to rectify his failure with a cult. As something went wrong with some sort of business in a city you know as Helenon. You sort of throw that aside. You start digging through a little bit more. In the same drawer, underneath the same drawer is a larger sort of desk drawer. You know how there's like the small one and then the one that's like a foot deep?
Yeah.
One of those, but it's locked. Thalion, you're looking through on this desk and you just see stacks of paper. Neatly stacked, some of them sort of laid out like they were getting ready to be written on, but there's nothing there. There's an inkwell, some quills, nothing much. Zerak, give me an investigation check. Troman, give me an investigation check.
Mark, I'm actually going to burn my inspiration on this investigation check.
Okay, just remember that I do use your passive abilities if you roll lower than the passive. But, you know, rolling higher does give you a chance to find some other good. Okay. Drummond. You open up the drawer, and sitting inside is a black box. It is ebony wood, beautifully carved and shiny. You look upon the top and you see that it is cinched closed with a latch, and there are some runes inscribed on top of the box that kind of glow with a golden light. Sticking out of the corner seems to be a piece of parchment. You set that kind of off to the side, and then you find what looks to be a very large, smooth river rock. You can see the layers of sediment that have fallen into it, but it almost looks like it would be the perfect skipping stone. You can see the lines of quartz running through it, just sitting there in the drawer next to this black box. Xerac,
I'll take.
with a 20, you find hidden inside the drawer of paper is what feels like a false bottom. As you pull out the sheafs of rolled parchment, stack them on top of the drawer, you find a short finger hole in the back, and you pop up the false bottom and you pull it out. Inside is a small chest made of what seems to be black iron, banded in copper. You don't know, but it's riveted and it's made fine. You reach down and try to grab the box, and you begin to try to pull it up, and it will not lift up. A rune sort of flashes before your eyes and then disappears, and you sort of step away.
Okay. I believe that this box is magically warded. I will ask Dromund if he might know of a way to bypass the lock.
Okay, give me an Arcana check as you sort of think on it as you turn to Dromund.
That's my specialty.
You've heard of this spell? Do you know that it is a arcane lock?
Yeah, that is a abjuration spell, I think. So, it is one I would like to learn eventually.
So you guys are faced with a couple locked drawers and an arcane lock.
I could take off the arcane lock tomorrow if we decided to sleep here in the Lich's room, but I can't do it today, as I'd have to study the magic necessary to remove it.
Could you come take a look at this box? It's got a weird symbol on it.
I'd be happy to.
He said everything in this room was yours once he left. He didn't say you had to go out of your way to get it.
Maybe there's something in this room that would dispel the arcane lock.
I do have one of those keys, but if I saw Dromund, then I would ask him, Dromund, this desk is locked. Will you be able to pick it?
Sure. Let's all rotate. Everybody rotate one to your left.
Yeah, it's like musical chairs. All right, I'll come over here and check out what Dromund was wanting me to.
Okay. Drummond, go ahead and give me a lockpick check there with the fuse. 18 is good enough. You reach down and you start to pick the intricate lock that's there before you hear a satisfying clink, and then you pull it open. Inside, you see a couple rolled up scrolls and a couple potions. You pick up the scrolls and you see each one is sealed with a wax seal with a symbol on it. You know that these are spell scrolls. You reach for a couple of the potions and you pull them out and you begin to sort of stack them on the desk. You see one potion, quite large. It's thick purple liquid inside, and there seems to be pulsing pink ovoid center in the middle that's sort of pulsing lightly within the dark, thick, violet liquid. There's a couple red potions, as well as a couple greenish blue ones that are kind of in what almost seems to be like test tubes more than vials or jars.
I won't be. I don't. I won't. I need the identify spell to identify the spell scrolls, won't I? Or can I make a see if I can just by reading them, if I can see what they? Yeah,
you can break the seals and read them if you want.
I don't want to cast them. I just want to try to figure out what they are.
But you're not physically casting them.
Right. You can figure out a spell scroll by looking at it. You don't cast it by just reading it because it has multiple components rather than just verbal. You'd have to go through you'd have to do the spell.
Okay. So that was my worry. So I will. How many spell scrolls are there?
There are 3.
I will start. I'll take one and crack the seal and start reading to see if I can identify this spell scroll.
Okay, Zirak, as you move over towards where Droman laid this very nicely crafted black box, you see on the top that there seem to be glowing runes that kind of slowly pulsate from dim to dark on top. There's a sheaf of paper sort of caught on the outside of this box, kind of like a corner of it sticking out as the box is closed and clipped. What languages can you read? Okay, you do not understand the runes on top of this box. The language itself, the way it's written, it's very sharp and jagged. It's not pleasant on the eye.
I can cast that as a ritual, though, in 10 minutes, and then I can...
So you lay the box down, and then you start to begin to cast your comprehend languages, bringing out the small bits of incense that you would need, and sort of lighting it and blowing the soot and the incense and sprinkling some salt around it, saying the words of magic around this box. Falk, as you begin to read through these, you find that 2 of them are spells for comprehend language.
Oh, okay.
Excellent.
And what's the third one?
I gotta scroll to it, hold on. The third one is for Arcane Lock.
Okay, sweet.
Ooh, I want to learn that spell. It's an abjuration spell.
You can figure out that the 3 red potions are potions of healing, though without sort of testing them out to see what their potency is, you're not quite sure what they are. But there is the purplish liquid as well as the 2 greenish-blue test tubes that you pulled out of that drawer.
So here's my thought. We loot this entire room, and then Vasal gave me the words to go to his secret hidey hole. Why don't we take everything there, and then we can figure out, and we could distribute everything equally amongst us. We think who will best make best use of everything that we find, and then we can rest up, prepare spells if we need to, and just that way we're ready to go. Continue on because we are beat, and if we continue going, I don't think we're gonna get as lucky as we just did against a lich.
was thinking as well.
So let's just ransack everything. See if we can. Zirak, did you find anything?
Your ritual lens. You look upon the runes. They are written in Infernal.
I found an arcane lock inside a false cupboard, and I am currently in the process of comprehending the runes on this box that I'm looking at.
Oh, don't worry about that. I found two scrolls that for the comprehend language spell, and an arcane lock spell scroll.
Well, I don't know arcane lock, but it is of my school. I would like to learn it. As far as comprehend languages, I already know that spell and can cast it as a ritual. But if you need to cast it quicker than it takes to cast a ritual, sure, you can hold on to those scrolls.
Okay, I will give you the arcane lock spell once we go and rest. You said you found a place with the arcane lock. I want to go over, and to where the arcane lock was, and try maybe the key that I have will unlock the lock.
Did anyone find any other stones that may be a key?
You guys have realized that you have not found another glyph key. The one he said that would gain you access to 2 other vaults. As well as the collar keys that you need and promised a vampire and a concubine that you would use on them to free them from their collars.
Maybe the key is behind this arcane lock.
Did you try the key on the lock?
I was waiting for Mark.
I am suggesting you do that.
You press the ruby key, and you watch as the arcane lock flares to life. I need an Arcana check, please.
Oh, shit.
Why shit? You're a wizard. Come on, prove it. I wouldn't balk at an Arcana check. I'd be like, thank you, Mark, for asking me to do what I want.
Are you not proficient in Arcana?
No, I thought you said a con check. A constitution
you
check.
Need Arcana check.
I heard Arcana. I'm sorry, but Zirak is just thinking that.
No, I'm not rolling high tonight.
Falk, you take 12 points of force damage.
I'm down.
You guys watch as Falk presses the key against there, and then a small explosion, and he gets thrown into this divider, and the divider crashes down. It hits Rudy, who's trying to relax in the chair, and Falk is just steaming, staring up at the ceiling.
Am I dying?
Who's going to do something? Oh, immediately before you have to make your first check, you are now stabilized.
I want to go look at the thing that he placed the key on and see if it's at least unlocked.
The arcane lock is bright, and then it fades again, similar to when you pulled your hand away. It seems like he was not able to open it with the power of his mind.
Seeing his example, though, I think that it's probably because he is just barely more than an apprentice. So I would like to take the key from his unconscious self and try it myself.
I need a dexterity check from both Drummond and Zirak.
Oh, no.
Why are you guys taking the key?
Because it's valuable and I haven't got paid yet.
Woohoo! Nice, Zirak. Ooh!
Oh, damn it! That's a saving throw. That's not a check.
Well, his sleight of hand is pretty high, so
Is his sleight of hand +6? Because my dex sleight of hand is a dex for me.
he's expertise in sleight of hand. So he does manage to take the key from the unconscious Falk as you turn around and look for it. He's sort of looking at it. Just as Valeria takes a small capsule wrapped in what almost seems to be like reeds, shakes it, and then snaps it in front of Falk's nose. There's a very strong smell of ammonia, Falk, as you wake up fully alert. You have 1 hit point. Oh, you have 1 hit die.
Yeah, so
Go ahead and
that's
roll,
a
go
hit
ahead and
die.
roll the hit die. Okay, you have 4 hit points.
Well, sort of, Drummond. It's not really a sleight of hand check. Mark asked for a dexterity check. He didn't ask for a sleight of hand check. I rolled sleight of hand because sleight of hand is the same as a dexterity check for me. For you, if you were to click dexterity, I'm sure your plus would be different than your plus to sleight of hand. He didn't ask for a skill check. But
I know, but
that
you were over by the desk, and he said your name and my name, so I thought
Right.
it was going to be
But that said, I'm gonna go. I like the scene the way it's perfect. I don't want to change a thing. I would turn around, seeing that Falk doesn't have the key because you were so quick. I probably didn't see you grab it. And I would say, well, where did the key go? Whoever has the key, be my guest. Go figure out the arcane lock. I'll go back to casting my comprehend languages on the runes on this box over here. If
your
my services are not needed.
Still up. You look at the runes and they sort of reshape themselves to your eyes so you can read them in a common. And you read it and it says, "Within me I contain true names."
Oh my god, that's the most powerful thing in the world.
What did you say? What did you say?
It says, "Within me I contain true names." I want this box open. Drummond was unable to open it though. Does anyone have a key for this box?
She didn't try to open it. He just saw the runes he could read.
Oh, then I turn around to Drummond and say, "Oh, this one is definitely at least worth opening as badly as the other one."
Sorry, it's not infernal, it's abyssal.
Oh.
I apologize. Yes, it's not what Droman. It's not what Droman could have read because Droman knows infernal, I believe. That's why it's abyssal. I apologize. Demons.
That's fine. If I have a demon's true name, I might be able to control it. So, I would definitely want the scroll inside this box. If you would be so kind, Drummond, as to open it, I believe the contents would be beneficial to us and probably protect us if we're going to delve further into the demon hold.
It is locked using a regular key lock type deal?
No, think of a cigar box. It's closed, and there's just a simple bronze latch holding it closed.
I'll take it and watch Zirak get distant. If he wants to give it to me.
Yeah, I hand it to him. I mean, you're the one with all the keys now.
And I'll go ahead and open it if there's no lock.
You and Pandora are all alone in that little room, Drummond. Go ahead.
Man, I really wish some people had detect magic, but here we go. Drummond, as you flip open the bronze lock and you open the box, you watch as runes flare to life around the edge. I need a dexterity saving throw.
Dexterity saving throw, yes?
Dexterity saving throw, please.
I didn't see that coming.
17 is a success. You will take half damage as the box literally explodes.
There goes all the names.
Yeah, I don't know detect magic. I can dispel magic, but I didn't have that prepared.
Okay, So you take 8 points of force damage as the box is shattered and the paper within blows apart. The protection sealed against it was not bypassed, and it was just sort of opened up, triggering the rune within.
Well, that's smart. Perhaps we should have asked Vas Defrins or whatever, the guy the lich that was in here. That's not a Vas Defrins. That's a organ in a man. I shouldn't have said that. Not that name. Yeah, Vosal. If he could have opened these boxes for us.
Are you alright in there?
I'm like spitting paper. I hope that wasn't valuable.
It probably would have saved our lives. But I shrugged my shoulders. Maybe you shouldn't, maybe we shouldn't mess with any more of these things until...
Out of game, since it's destroyed, I just want to... Because it would have been fun if you guys would have managed to dispel that and then get it open. You guys would have found Parasha's true name.
Oh!
I would have loved to have controlled her, even if just for one night.
You don't know that. You don't know that, Valeria. Stop it. So it looks like the only thing left is to try to find if he did indeed have another glyph key. And
well, there's still that arcane lock.
If you guys can take down that arcane lock.
I'm asking where the key is because it's no longer on my chest. I was going to go try it again.
I have it. I have it.
Huh?
I don't trust you, Fog.
It's just a shelf.
Borrow?
Books and knickknacks.
Yes, I don't trust you.
It's like a reading corner over here, Thalion.
And why should I trust you? I mean, you took it off my body, and it was given to me.
Checking that to see if there's anything valuable in there, or if you hit the crystals in there.
There's nothing valuable in those drawers. I'll just say that.
I must be careful around valuables and dead bodies. After all, you proved that you could bring somebody back to life, and our previous party member turned out to be some sort of evil god and vanished. I cannot let valuables just lay around.
Okay, what all was checked in this area, Drummond?
This little side table down here contained the explodey box that Xerac gave me, which I... Maybe he booby-trapped it just so it exploded my... And then the chest that you're standing next to has the arcane lock on.
Leomord, give me an investigation check.
Oh, please, 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 dice gods, be in thy favor.
14. That's good. Moving through some of the papers that Thalion has kind of moved off to the side and kind of scattered in his haste to try to find something. In the back corner, kind of hidden, have you seen those roll top tables with like the sliding roll top?
I believe so, yeah.
In the back corner, kind of hidden in the shadow, there's a small roll top that's almost imperceptible. You really have to like lean in and reach. That's all the way into the back. And you see it, and you begin to open it, and you look inside, and you see sitting on what seems to be a small velvet pillow are 3 keys. A crystal glyph key, a key of very highly polished silver steel that seems to be kind of painted almost with this electric blue shimmer, and then a key cut of pure obsidian.
Eureka! I'll immediately pick up the blue one and start to examine it.
It's cut in a very strange like, it's not a very intricate key. Like, this looks like it would open a very simple lock, but the key itself is quite beautiful, has good weight to it. The steel looks pretty pure to your eye, kind of giving it an alchemical look.
How was this overlooked? Now Clay looked back, just everyone, I found something. Some things, actually.
Leomorn has managed to found some keys. Now all that's left is the arcane lock, if you guys wish to spend more time trying to open it.
Does Droman give back the pendant that was given to him?
I'll give it back to you, but I've got written down my warning that people have tried to bargain with me before, and those two people aren't here.
I'm not bargaining.
Drummond goes and sits down. Falk, you're going to give it another shot?
Yeah.
Alright, give me an Arcana check.
No.
Third time's the charm, Falk.
God damn.
What the hell? I just brought you back! What is your problem? Did you have a death wish?
And watch Falk cartwheel through the air again and land on the ground unconscious as he takes 10 points of force damage.
Alright, you know what?
Pendant again.
Mechanic in 5e, I don't know if you guys know about it.
This time,
Xeric was like
this time I have my eyes on the things, so I would like to try it and show Falk how being a wizard is really done.
Well, I'm unconscious.
He is passed out.
Can you please wake him up so that he can see this? Maybe he'll learn something. He can consider it a lesson.
Falk, I need a death saving throw.
Oh, I'll try to stabilize him if Valeria doesn't want to.
Got it.
Success.
Oh,
Spare the
she
dying,
did.
Falk. You are now stabilized.
I'm not gonna bring you back up. You're staying asleep for the next, I don't know how many hours.
1d4 hours.
Falk,
Roll a d4 and...
Chris, roll 1d4, please. Falk, you're asleep for a good 4 hours.
We could lay him here in the bed. He can sleep in the Lich's bed. He probably smells the same. I will use the key to try and...
Droman has it.
Droman said he handed
it
it
this time.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
You take the key, you press it down, and you watch as the runes begin to light up a lot slower than when you reached your hand in and tried to pull it out. Go ahead and give me an Arcana check.
God, I hope I don't bite it on this or Chris is gonna laugh forever.
No,
Hey!
yeah, you're gonna get it.
And that's how it's done, folks.
An intricate bit of turning with your fingers, and you begin to sort of align these glowing lock lines together until you begin to form a pattern, the draconic rune for opening. And the magic dissipates. You reach a hand in tentatively, grab the top of the small metal chest, and it begins to slide. It's quite heavy. It's probably... how big would that be? It's probably like 8 inches wide and maybe like 9 inches tall at the hump. And it's made of metal. It's quite heavy.
You need some assistance, Jarek, now that it's dispelled.
As I'm tugging on it and the skinny muscle, the thin little muscles on my arms are strained and the veins are popping out on my neck, I'm like, a little assistance would not be shrugged off. It is open. We can remove it. And I'd be happy to hand Droman the key back if he really wants it back that bad.
I would love it back. It goes with my uniform, all the red, it kind of
It does have a little bit of Falk's blood on it. I think that makes it shine a little bit more. But yeah, I mean, you're right. You haven't gotten paid yet, so if you can accept this key as payment,
I'm going to group everybody up so I can take you to the next place.
So I'm writing on my character sheet that I have an arcane lock scroll that I will take the time to learn at the next.
So you take that off of Falk's body as well?
You handed it to me. You said I could have the arcane lock scroll.
Oh, I thought we were distributing it after we loot the room and go to the safe haven.
Well, you're unconscious, so you won't know any difference.
I'll just give you a blank piece of paper. You can't read arcane writing anyway. It's obvious.
Do you want to know the funniest part about this? Okay, you guys begin to make your way through the door, spending quite a bit of time in here with the 3 different keys. Again, not making sure not to backtrack towards Parasha and Rezamoda to let them free like you promised at first. You guys move back into the torture chamber. The demon inside is still raging, trying to break free, but the chains seem to be holding him at bay. And you get to the black gate. Droman kind of looks around and says, "How do I do this?" Because Vosal told Falk the words to get to the safe haven.
Yep.
What would you guys like to do?
Well, he did. Davin was standing right next to him. It was listening with everything.
He whispered to Falk the
Oh
name.
no, that's not where I was leading.
Mark, I will squeeze a good berry into Falk's mouth and give him, make him eat it, and that will give him 1 hit point.
There we go. Falk, you reawaken with 1 hit point. The taste of delicious blueberryness filling your mouth.
Before you continue, what I was originally trying to suggest was, do we know if we could exit them out the same way that the Lich did? Since he was asleep, and we had that time to even think about that.
Say that again.
The 2 that we were promising to help get out, did we know if the...
I mean, you guys were searching this room. You can imagine that the keys needed were just found by Leomorn right before Falk exploded for the second time. If you guys... I leave it up to you. Do you guys want to go to the Haven right away? Or do you guys want to backtrack and release those, not knowing what has come in? It's a very tough predicament.
I think that most of us are not in a position to take too much risk, as that would put our lives in danger.
That's true.
I would vote that as risky as we might want to be, to keep our promise. If we die, we can't keep our promise either. And I know that Valeria is pretty exhausted. I myself am nearly out of magic. I can probably maybe make it through 1 encounter, but it would be pretty touch and go. And we don't have any more healing potions. I think we drank them all. So, yeah, it would be risky. I mean, I'll leave it up to you guys. I just think if I'm looking at our resources as a party, we're pretty spent.
You made a good point, Sarah. With you guys weak and depleted, it wouldn't be smart to backtrack and possibly run into more guards.
Bree would vote to push on in a heartbeat, but that's because she's good every encounter.
Rudy still has a bit of that barricade still around her neck from when it collapsed upon her.
Yeah.
And you know what? If Falk goes down again, I think Valeria might just kill him herself.
You made me waste so many resources on you. And you keep dying!
Yeah, he's pretty, and he dies doing.
That's why Elise keeps telling her, like, maybe you should just leave that guy to die, because clearly he wants to die.
No, he just has a fascination with death. I get it, but
That was me, Mark.
I'm sorry.
Isn't
Okay,
it
what's up?
possible to communicate through the crystals if someone has that same crystal?
It's possible when you're close to each other, but Sin also mentioned something about contact stones that let you speak to other people with Glyph Key.
I want to attempt to, since I remember Rezamola had one, and see if I can speak to him and tell him if he comes this way, we might be able to release him outside.
You remember what they did? You touch a Glyph Key to your forehead, and you think and you call out to Rezamoda, but you hear nothing in return.
Okay, well, it was worth a try.
You imagine that if somebody was right next to you with a Glyph Key, you can speak to them without saying a word, just expressing thought through the Glyph Keys to one another. But the distance between you and Rezamoda inside the vault, you'd imagine that you'd have to try to find one of these contact stones and use the contact stone to speak. Give me an investigation check. Okay. So do you guys begin to move back into the torture chamber this time?
Yes.
Okay. Falk awakens as Droman's kind of standing there with the ruby key, kind of touching it to the portal and trying to think, but the only thing that he can see through his is the way you guys entered, and you see the tower on the other side. Falk, what do you do?
Wake up groggily, and I see what Droman has my key again.
How do we get into this sanctuary?
You gotta say the words.
And the words are?
I reached my hand out.
For what? For the key?
Falk is such a child.
Did that last blast concuss you?
I'll just hold you back for a second and I'll say, this is 2 strikes, 3 strikes, you're out, and then I'll give you back a key.
So why am I getting such a bad rep? I have done nothing but help the party. I have taken more or just as much risk as everybody else, and you guys are treating me like I'm a fucking criminal, and keep calling me a goddamn apprentice. If you want me to do this, you need to treat me with more respect, or I'm not gonna. Or I'll just leave you guys here. I have saved about half of you guys already.
You also almost killed about half of us. I think you're reflavoring the facts here, Falk. Perhaps it's because, and I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Perhaps it's because you spent the majority of your life adventuring with very few people or by yourself. As you stated, that you are mostly a loner. So when you do things that cause risk to your allies, you're not thinking about it because you're not used to having allies. So we need you to change the way you think when you utilize your magic, because your magic has literally put us in danger more times than it has helped us. Whether your intentions are pure or not, the result is that many of us nearly died because of what you did. That's why I think that your inexperience of working as a group, as a team player, is what we're questioning here, what we're sometimes chiding you about. It's not that we doubt that you are a mage and that you have powerful magic at your disposal. It's that we don't know that you know how to use it in the Fates United. If you want to be one of us, you have to be a part of a group, not a solo, I'm going to go save all of you adventurer like this warrior named Axel, who I knew at one point, but that's neither here nor there. You can't be a one-man show. You have to be part of a team.
Falk, obviously not everyone here works fluidly together, so it's not just you. But how about we debate this when we're all in a safe area where you all can rest? Then we can discuss this.
Thalion is speaking very wisely now. I suggest you heed his wisdom.
Guys,
And yeah,
I think we all just need to take a moment. Falk, we may not understand your ways, but we appreciate what you do. We know that you're trying your best, and we thank you very much. We appreciate what you do for us. Thank you.
Also, if I'm not mistaken, we did rescue you from this place. So, you're welcome. Maybe now you could send us to a safe place.
Then I have appreciated that. And I'm repaying back my debt. But if I'm going to keep being treated with disrespect, then I say my debt's been repaid.
I don't think that's the way debt works. I think we determine when the debt has been repaid. But anyway, to Thalion's point, we should discuss this where we are not in danger of being ripped to shreds. I mean, if you go to a bank and you say, I think my debt's paid, the bank is going to tell you, we'll decide when your debt has been paid.
Well, it's a good thing you're not a bank, then.
Just know, Falk, that we appreciate what you do.
Can I tell Rudy's being sarcastic?
Roll an insight check. Rudy, are you being sarcastic?
He doesn't know.
She seems like the words of an angel soothing your soul. It uplifts your spirits. And looking at her and her beautiful round face and her short haired haircut, her strong
Well, she
demeanor,
looks like this cultist guy right now, so it's kind of diminished.
So looking at this cultist, the words do soothe you, though. You feel a little bit better about yourself.
I will come in for a hug.
Roleplay's fine. The other half of this bullshit is not the dice rolls. That's what's really fucking me over.
I know, but we can't do anything
Yeah,
about
but
that.
you can roll with that, Falk. You can roll with the dice plays. Yeah, I play them out too. I have bad nights as well. I just hope that's not with Arcana checks.
Hey, I was blown to smithereens the other day. You don't hear me complaining.
I didn't hear you complain. As a matter of fact, you gave me a very nice death scene.
But so I will take my key back. I will go up to the portal, and I will say Twilight God.
What do you say?
Twilight God.
You say Twilight God, and nothing happens.
That's what he said. I wrote him down.
Even Thalion knows. I love it. I can't wait to.
Honestly, I swear that's what he said.
So Falk says some words, and it doesn't work. After he gave that speech,
Falk just kind of puts his hand to his head. He's rubbing his temples a bit. His mind is a little bit fuzzy. I mean, he was thrown 2 times over 10 feet, landing unconscious to the ground. So that has to have some impact on his mental capacity.
As Valeria said, he's very concussed. The poor
Now,
man
Paul
is
concentrates and he's like, oh, okay. Twilight Garden.
I thought you said God. I swear to God. I swear I thought you said God.
And you think of Twilight Garden, and you watch as the Black Gate begins to coalesce into an image of almost like a mirage-like sheen of a forest. I'll say one by one, you all step in and arrive in the Twilight Garden.
Doesn't this look familiar?
The sounds
It
of
does.
birds and insects chirp through what is seemingly a very sterile, lifeless place, and the shock of horror begins to emanate from all of you as you made a deal and let go the person who has seemingly orchestrated the entire cultist uprising in Helenon and Brayburn.
Oh yeah, by the way, do you guys know of this place?
Wait, what?
Al-Anon?
You didn't catch it earlier, Ken?
No, and I don't know how we broke a deal. We could go back, can't we? Or are we like escaping forever? I thought this was a temporary place to go.
No,
We
he's
let the
talking
lich
about
go.
we let the guy out of the tower, and he mentioned something that for us in Group B was very, very important, and then it kind of
No, this isn't Dastow. This is for Group A. That's very important.
Yeah.
You guys started out your quest in Helenon due to some cultists and people being abducted. You guys went down into sewers and you guys found what seemed to be a small pocket dimension of a garden. Here he told you that this is a place of his own creation, as to when somebody said, wow, doesn't this look familiar? Although Falk hasn't shared it yet, he found many drafts of a letter inside the desk in Vosal's room that's speaking of him asking for forgiveness and a second chance for his failures with the cult in Helenon.
Yeah, while we're resting, I was going to nonchalantly say, oh yeah, I found these letters, something about a cult in Helenon. I don't know if you guys heard anything about that.
We stopped a cult in Halenon.
Oh,
We
well,
thwarted their activity.
I guess the Lich, he orchestrated the whole thing.
The mirage-like walls of this place seemingly depict a vast villa set along an ocean, long beaches, other houses, sand dunes further off to the south. A true paradise. You walk up to the shimmering image, Valeria, and put your hand on it, and you touch a wall as the illusion sort of wrinkles. And you sort of form your hand into a fist, kind of realizing where you're at.
Just recalling.
I'll pass around one of
Did we not find notes in the earlier searches with that cult that led to talks with someone called Mother?
I don't remember anything about Mother. I remember things about like the caretaker and the harvester or something, I think it was.
Yep.
Some of those earlier messages were talking about like reaping the harvest kind of thing.
There was the harvester, caretaker, and who got away. I think the harvester, wasn't he Roger's brother?
What Thalion is thinking of was the name of the cult. It was the cult of the Mother.
Oh.
Oh. That's my head exploding.
Yeah, Mark. If I had one of those letters, I would give it and let them read.
Yeah, you throw it out, and people start reading it, and you guys realize that little jaunt, all of that was seemingly his idea, a way to generate power, leading to one culminative day, the day of the triple eclipse. And you imagine that you stopping what happened in Brayburn, as well as some of the other towns, were thwarted, though some were not thwarted, and the ritual continued. And you saw that as you were leaving Halanon. You saw the large vines bursting from the ground that destroyed some of the towns and cities on the way. Yeah.
Wait, doesn't Valeria worship a mother? Oh,
You guys
the
find
lady.
yourself in this strange landscape during twilight, the creaking of crickets. You watch the sun, or you watch the moon in the sky carefully, and notice that it isn't moving and setting too fast. Different from the garden that you guys entered in the sewers in Halanon.
Well, then, while we're here, everyone should bandage up and everything before we proceed forward.
You guys are taking a short rest?
I'm going to take a long rest.
Yeah, I believe we're taking a long rest.
Okay, so you
the
guys
last
are
time
about
we were in here?
you guys are about 5 to 6 hours into the adventuring day. So you guys are going to spend a long time in here.
Well, we also have a bunch of mysterious potions to identify as well. I'm at 1 hit point. I have plenty of spells left, but it's just healing is the main concern.
Valeria, as you stand in the hallway, you notice that there are 2 statues about 10 feet up from you. Each statue seems to be holding out a plate in 2 hands. The statues themselves are muscular figures. Faces are square-jawed, noses somewhat flat, brows thick, very distinctive facial markings, almost as if they were maybe painted on. They seem to be wearing loincloths. You kind of take a step forward and then you lurch backwards. These were the same types of statues that you saw Zirak giving blood to in the sewers to activate the portal. Zirak, you get the idea as you're thinking this that no. He wasn't trying to be free of her grasp. He was trying to get away and escape before his failure eventually destroyed him in this place.
So he still wants to serve her. He just doesn't want to be under her thumb. I don't.
Nope.
He wanted to be.
He left this place to pursue knowledge in his own way. Whatever sort of knowledge or experiments he wants to do in his own way, out of the grasp here and a part of the consortium, he's going to try to do. But you can tell that he was ready to leave. When you guys first appeared, he thought that you guys were sent by Mother to kill him. Until he saw, of course, the large black lion and the people that weren't wearing cultist gear.
Right. So Zirak is assuming that he doesn't want to be a servant of the Mother anymore.
Yeah. definitely you can just.
He's like you and me. He built up as much knowledge he could there. Now he's on the pursue to get more.
Right. So he did some horrible things in the mother's name, obviously, that we helped try and stop. But he doesn't want to perhaps do those things anymore. So I feel both good and bad about the outcome of events, since we obviously didn't kill him. Which is funny, because way back when you said, I assume we're out of initiative, I was thinking there's an undead thing in there that tried to kill us. Why am I not going to firebolt it in the face? And then nobody else wanted to kill it. So I was like, well, okay, I'll go along with the group.
But he said I yield.
I know, and then it was Valeria's turn next in initiative, and my brain went, oh great, perfect. Let the cleric go next after Mark says I yield.
Hey, I asked, are we sure we want to let him go free? He's a lich.
And then Valeria was like, yeah, I don't think we should.
Me and Thali made a deal with him, so.
Xerax, I know. And Falk's like, you're a great guy. I want to be
I let him go because I only have 9 HP left.
You guys watch as Valeria starts to walk down the path.
Fair point, Rudy.
Yeah, Rudy, we can see your bar, but we don't see the numbers, though.
It doesn't matter. It's low. It's a fair point. Yeah, I don't know if that's the same statue that I got cuddly.
What?
That is not your boner statue, Xerac. That is the statue that you would cut your hand on and bleed into to activate the portal that eventually led into the garden.
That was back when Xerac was truly heroic and was like willing to sacrifice his life for all of you. Oh, how times have changed.
Now praise fall, everybody. I'm feeling a little lost here.
That was back when we used to travel with the top-heavy Layla.
You guys begin to descend down into what seems to be an oasis. An actual waterfall.
And her awesome companion.
An actual waterfall is coming from the roof almost out of nowhere, landing into a stream, filling this pond. The temperature here is cool and crisp. There almost seems to be a strange, fake breeze that blows through as kind of a water spout pours forth like a fountain in the middle of this pool. Drummond, you stand next to a statue and you look at it, and it's a woman. Spear in her left hand, jewel in her right, though the jewel is carved out of stone, but the semblance is there. You look upon the face, and the face looks very much like the statues that you did see in the gardens of the naked woman holding out her hand. Alluringly. Xerac, you walk closer to the pool, and there on the other side is a large statue of said woman.
I stare at it for a very long time, almost as if prolonged eye contact in a continual state might make it nervous if I just sit here and stare at it.
The water is cool. The water is fresh. It is crystal clear. The place here carries the faint hint of briny salt, but the smell of sweet exotic flowers kind of pervades the area. It really is a beautiful garden.
You know, as terrible as some of the memories are that we have of places similar to this, I still prefer this over Sin's tent. What say the rest of you?
What did Sin do to get you under your skin?
I think we should leave that as a rhetorical question that you should just answer, Xerac.
Elise, you are my best friend. Yes, what she said, Falk. It's rhetorical. I don't need to answer it. Her name is Sin. You can infer the rest.
A name can say a lot about a person now, can't it? She winks at Zarak.
Mark, are we ending here for tonight?
Well, I was going to let you guys, some of you guys I know leveled up.
I didn't, but I will learn a new spell and subtract the money from my character sheet.
If you guys wanted to quickly go over the stuff you guys found and or try to open the stuff you guys found, we can kind of go through that stuff to end the episode. I leave it up to you.
If you guys want me to identify anything, I can start ritual casting that.
Yeah,
and Falk, you can have those comprehend language scrolls because I don't need those. I just want the arcane lock one.
Yeah,
which when I learn it will destroy the scroll.
Yeah, I was going to give you that and hold on to the comprehend scrolls and use those. That way you don't have to use comprehend languages at least for 2 times, anyways. And that would pass out the potions and see if we can identify these and distribute them to who we think will probably be of better use to.
Leomorn starts to take out his portable alchemy kit that he brings, just the little basics he needs, and he begins to pour over the potions. Leomorn, give me an Arcana check as you go over these. Zarak, what are you identifying?
I guess I would start with just looking at the potions and seeing if I can determine what kind of potions they are.
Okay. We'll say that
objects yet.
We'll say that Leomorn starts to test out the bluish green ones, but he seems to be having some trouble. You go ahead and you start to cast Detect Magic on the purplish one with the ovoid, the pink ovoid shape kind of pulsing like a heart in the middle. After about 10 minutes, you realize that this is a potion of mind reading.
I still feel quite sore from the last encounter.
Leomorn, it takes you a good hour to identify those 2 greenish-blue potions, but they are, in fact, potions of poison resistance.
Poison resistance?
Yes.
Huh.
Drummond, you walk up to the lockbox that Thalion kind of sets up. You see that there are 3 intricate locks stacked like a brain fart. Zelda symbol.
Triforce?
The Triforce. Stacked like the Triforce. 1, 2, 3. I will need 3 consecutive Thieves' Tool checks if you wish to open this box. Unless Leomorn goes, hey.
Do you need any help?
You begin to click into the first one, and it does not budge, foiling you as you try to get into the second one, thinking maybe you'd start there and work your way around. You can't even get into that one. It is quite a tough lock. And we'll just say Leomorn remembers that, hey, I have some keys. And then he walks over with his keys. And he takes out the obsidian one.
Which I do remember, like, I was yelling for everybody, and I'm surprised no one's heard me yelling Eureka!
And we'll say that Leomorn unlocks the chest with the obsidian key. Oh, your guys' cart. Hope it's still there. Clicks open. Drummond, you open it. Sitting inside is another flat box of wood. You open up the small box, and it is lined with gold. Sitting inside the gold-lined box is a gold coffer in the shape of a sleeping dragon with 2 very large violet gemstone eyes. You pick it up, and it is heavy. It fills up both of your hands, almost the size, much larger than, kind of like think of a soccer ball, but elongated and just as big that you kind of pull out of here. Much bigger than the actual size of the box once you lift it out. It's quite strange. You set it down with a thunk, and you see that part of the top of the dragon can be lifted as you lift up. That golden portion of that coffer you see sitting inside, piled on top of one of each other, platinum coins. You take the time to count them, there's about 200 sitting inside. Leomorn, after the dragon has been lifted, you look down, and sitting in a seam on the bottom of the chest seems to be a strange candle holder that's quite slim. You reach down, you pull it out, and it grows larger as you pull it out of the box.
What in bloody hell?
It looks like a candle holder. There indeed looks like a candle sitting on the end, but it's so slim you could swear that it's a wand. This is what it looks like. You bring it over to Zirak. You lay it down in front of him. Zirak, you begin your identify.
That's a cool picture, Mark.
Yeah.
Zirak, this is what you identify. Should be in your handouts, handout subfolder next to items. Zirak, if you're looking for it. It's called the Wand of Whispers.
Ooh, I like it.
Oh,
okay.
I forgot that I put that on. Everybody can see the text. Never mind. Everybody knows what it is.
Well, I would just explain it as the magic in this wand allows you to send messages magically to anyone you want, but on a limited nature.
Such a design craftsmanship on it.
So, like it says, you can cast message pretty much at will while holding and attuned to this wand. It must be attuned by a spellcaster. You can use the sending spell, but it takes 3 charges of the 7 charges to cast sending. And while you have it and you cast the spell at 5th level or lower while holding the wand, you can expend a charge to ignore any verbal components if you wish to try to cast something in silence.
I'll probably look over at Zirak at the wand, then back at the wand, just... Well, you think you might need this?
No.
Well, I'm just a little stunned by... Wow. That thing was keeping you this.
I am. I mean, I guess I don't know that magic, so I could use it, but I'm particular to my personal arcane focus, the crystal that I hold in my hand when I cast spells. But if I needed to use message, I guess I could hold on to the wand if nobody else wants it. But I also have quite a few magic items, so perhaps. I mean, if you want to give it to me, I'll take it. But I have like 5 things already, so maybe you don't want to give it to me.
So the gold dragon coffer with the violet gemstone, without the coins in it, weighs about 35 pounds. A solid gold, and it's worth about 1,500 gold.
Is it possible to put it back in its little box?
Yep, the box does seem a little bit lighter without the 200 platinum in it, but it's still fucking heavy. It is a black iron box. There's a small ebony wooden box inside lined with gold. That whole outfit together with the iron, the small box, everything weighs 115 pounds.
How much space we got in the bag of holding left?
It's a heavy mugga-fugga. So.
And as for the wand, after it's been identified, I'll hold it out and I'll just hold it. I'll look over it and just and I'll just like kind of tuck it to my belt.
Okay, so
I suppose this could be helpful.
Leomorn is now the proud owner, the Wand of Whispers.
Don't you have the other wand as well, Leomorn?
He has the Faraday.
I have the staff.
Sorry, Falk, you have the other. Yeah, that's right, you have the other wand. Okay, that's right. I remember giving it to you.
Yeah, Leomorn has the electric Faraday staff.
And I learned the spell, Arcane Lock. Now, I will note to the party that Arcane Lock has a material component that costs gold. So each casting of this spell will cost me 25 gold pieces in gold dust. So, not really sure how we acquire gold dust. Maybe we just... Maybe Zerak would know. But Mark, I don't know how you expect... Like, are we grinding our gold pieces into dust?
If you find a magic shop like you guys have been prone to do, they are exceedingly rare outside of larger cities. But you can go to magic shops and you can purchase components from said shops. You can take gold to a blacksmith and you can have them melt it down into thin sheets and have them break it up into dust for you. You can try to find a way to do it by yourselves next to a campfire. Gold melts pretty easily. And you guys can try to make your own dust, and or you can use like a farrier's rasp and, make it a mundane chore to do during a long rest at night, is to just scrape gold coins until you get about 25 worth.
I may have to just ask our little hirelings to get good at that. I'll hand them 25 gold pieces and tell them to grind that into dust.
They're waiting outside.
They're not here.
They're not with us. They're outside in the tower.
I was gonna say you watch as Vosal moves to the side of the room and begins to descend the stairs to the base of the tower. But then I figured you guys might chase after him, knowing that your hirelings are at the base of the tower. So I was like, he just dimension doors the fuck out.
Yeah, I knew that our 3 hirelings were probably dead.
I forgot about them, to be quite honest.
I didn't forget about them. Plus, my horse is there with all of my shit. So, if we lose that stuff, I'm toast. I don't have anything because I carry exactly almost nothing. I carry my spell book and my component pouch.
They're eating Ophelia steaks as we speak.
Yeah,
It's only been one day. What the fuck is wrong with you?
I know. I'm hoping that, but everybody up here in the chat's like, "Oh, time's gonna be different here. We're gonna come out of here in one day. It's gonna be like 7 weeks back there."
So you've noticed here before when you guys first entered that first garden and you saw where they were holding Kem in the rose bush with the vines sort of coiled around her. You remember that the sun was setting and rising like with moon cycles quite fast. Here, the entire time you've been here, over the course of about 2 hours, the moon hasn't moved. The stars are there. This seems to be a place of eternal twilight. You're not quite sure what that means. Maybe time doesn't matter here, or maybe time is normal. You're not quite sure until you exit again. But you guys bed down. Some of you drink the water. I don't know, like away from Zirak's feet, closer to the waterfall. If you do drink the water
is running, actually... guys. It's fine. Just let it run for a while, and the new fresh water is there.
Why does my cup of water smell like feet?
I want to prestidigitate my water to clean it.
Okay, yeah, no problem. It tastes great. It tastes like fresh spring filtered water coming down through here. It is cold, crisp, unerringly clear, like glass clear. You can see the stones at the bottom. However, there are no fish. You look around and there are no insects. There's no birds, though you can hear insects and birds. The fauna here is real to the touch. You touch them and they feel like real plants that seem to thrive here within this place. None of them bear fruit. It's a strange place, but it's oddly calming. You guys begin to find where you're going to sleep for the night after cleaning yourselves up, taking off boots and armor, feeling the soreness and the pain of the day that just happened, knowing that you're going to have to wake up and go even deeper into this place, not knowing what you're going to find. And that's where we're going to leave it off today.
Okay, point of note, Mark, I have a much different spell list prepared after a full rest.
No problem.
I went ahead and marked everything on the Roll20 sheet if you want to make sure, but I am re-preparing a few things to try and be more
I'll trust you. I'll trust you.
I want to be more utilitarian for you guys, and I'm going to be less of a battle mage and more of a helper mage going forward.
Yeah, just know that role-play magic and stuff like that plays a very big role in this place. Like a detect magic inside that room could have helped out immensely and could have saved. Luckily, Droman got away, but 66 force damage is nothing to scoff at.
No, and actually, Valeria, do you have detect magic? I don't know that spell.
So if you have it prepared, Valeria, it's a ritual. You can cast it without using a spell slot. It just takes 10 minutes of a ritual cast.
That's correct. If you have it prepared. The only difference between a wizard and a cleric is you have to prepare it. I do not. I just have to have the ritual. But if you have it prepared, you can cast it without a spell slot.
So that's one of my favorite spells, and used quite often.
I have now, going forward, I'll have Dispel Magic, so if we run into things, I can try and just break it. Plus, by the way, somebody, I think it's Falk, actually, since you took my wand, you have Dispel Magic from the wand, or maybe it just helps you cast a spell.
It helps me cast it. I need the spell. Since I don't have it, you can take the wand back if it were
I don't need help with it. I cast Dispel Magic as you can see, my magic is powerful enough without the aid. I was trying to help those who aren't as strong.
I mean, I'm grateful for the one, but it doesn't really help me out as much.
Did I put that wand in your...
It's in mine. I mean, I could touch somebody with it, and they can get what's it?
It's a plus one to save. But the reason I never used it for that was it takes your whole action to do that. So, and it's touch. And I'm very rarely next to somebody, and I'm not going to waste my whole action to touch you with the wand to give you plus one to a saving throw. Yeah, to me, I felt like the action economy wasn't worth the use there. But
again, I will say
the advantage on initiative or the +1 to initiative or whatever it was nice. That helped.
So I will say that always casting things as a ritual will help, but rituals won't always reveal what's truly hidden inside or give you all the information you need. I kind of tried to play that up with Falk and Thalion when they were watching Sin go over Thalion's halberd, and she seemed to be pumping power into the spell she was using to identify it. Do keep that in mind. While rituals are nice, you may need to use a little bit more by maybe adding a spell slot or so, maybe casting it as a 3rd level.
Yeah, I would have to prepare it, and I don't until I can prepare 27 spells. I'm not going to waste that slot on identify.
Yep.
So I'll just go
keep
with
that in mind.
the ritual.
Yeah, I mean, Falk, your wand seems worthless right now, but yeah, thanks, buddy.
No, that was a good session. I liked it.
I will see some of you guys this weekend. Should be a lot of fun.
I'm skipping class tomorrow to pick you guys up from the airport, so there's that.
We'll pick back up next Tuesday, and you guys are going to try to free a vampire and or try to go into another vault. It should be a lot of fun. Oh, one thing I forgot to add. I skimmed over it, but it's a very important note. That once you've seen a black gate, you can remember that black gate, and you can use the black gates to travel from one black gate to another as long as you've seen it. So, for instance, you guys entered the Demon Hold in the fighting pit through a black gate. So instead of trudging all the way through, you can go to the black gate on the south side of the Twilight Garden here, put the ruby key in, and think of the Demon Pit black gate in the chandelier room you guys entered, and enter through there.
Well, that's handy.
So, as long as you have that ruby key, you can travel from a black gate to a black gate as long as you have seen it. You can't, jump from one to another. But as long as you have it, you can move. But yeah. Have a good night, everybody. I gotta go pack. So
You haven't packed yet?
No, I tried packing today.
Oh no!
I tried packing today, and then when I came and checked on the D&D stuff to make sure that everything was prepared, one of my handouts completely went kaput. And I was like, oh my god, what if they go there tonight and totally overthought it, even though you guys didn't even come close to going to that place I had? And so I had to re-input everything into the handout here on Roll20. And then by that time I had to cook dinner, and then after I cooked and ate dinner, it was time to start the session, and now I gotta pack.
Well, way to keep your priorities straight.
D&D. You know what? I have some underwear and some t-shirts.
I'm pretty sure Chris can offer some pants, some shirts.
Oh, I think I'm too big for
Taha,
Chris's clothes.
yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. You haven't seen them in person. The height difference would be pretty uncomfortable for poor Mark.
They call me Moto.
And I'm pretty sure Mark doesn't believe free balling is a good way to do things in Brown Friends.
Only when I'm swimming. It helps me find the currents.
Don't forget to do that when you tan too, so you don't get out
500 silver pieces.
Yeah, because it cost me 50 gold to learn a second level spell that's Abjuration and 2 hours. So
you just remember, you guys did find a lot of platinum. So
yeah, I divided up our treasure from that one. I had 1,130 silver pieces, so I just took 500 silver pieces off of that and used that for my gold, my spell tonight. So I'm now a little bit lighter than I was.
And then another thing for any of you clerics out there, if you have clean water, you never know. You might try to make some holy water. That might help. So,
actually, that's useful for me too. I would like to, if Valeria wants to take some time to make some holy water, I could use a flask of it because it's an ingredient for protection from evil and good, which I'm going to prepare. So I have one that I purchased, but I'd like a refill.
I think the bad thing about it is it costs 25 silver pieces worth of silver dust. So you guys will have to try to find a way to make silver dust. And that way you can use it to sanctify some water while you're here. But that's 25 silver pieces of silver dust for one vial of holy water. And yeah, if you guys want to write out what you're doing in this long rest, you guys are going to be here for quite some time just because you guys already had a long rest only about 6 hours ago. So you guys can write out what you want to do on a post and or input it in chat. Figure out a convincing way to do it, like with the gold dust and or the silver dust, and we'll just roll with it. And yeah, right on. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Yeah,
Perfect. Thanks, Mark. Good night.
Yep. All right. Night night.
So it's be there.